Yeah.
That'll go to my phone.
Hey everybody, we're live with Bricks of Happiness.
Hello.
Right there. And then Ryan's our bartender. Hold on, I'm gonna wipe that. Ryan, gross! This is a tiny space. Open the
Wet
window.
Snout Peanut Butter Stout. That's the
Oh
name
my
of this.
Okay, I think we're
As I'm
good.
farting, I'm reading that.
Yeah.
Which one do you want?
Ryan's busting ass
which
in the
one do you
tiny
want?
house.
You want the better one?
I kind of want this Chocolips.
Yeah, have it.
Yeah,
Seriously.
you just have
Is that the better one?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I already had one,
Right.
and I have more.
What is
so-
that one?
And it's from Prescott. That's the Wet
Sleepy
Dog
Dog.
peanut butter.
Okay.
Okay.
We've got
All right.
over a
Those
plethora of beers.
Good word usage. I like
those
it.
have been delicious.
Are we live?
That barely,
Yeah.
That barely came out.
Let's see.
What's that?
I
That
don't-
barely came out.
What barely came out?
My plethora.
Your fart.
I almost stumbled over it. I don't know about his fart.
No, that came out. That happened.
Did you
Yeah,
open
I
it?
heard
Sorry.
that.
Yeah,
I was-
that happened.
I was here
Okay.
for that.
Look, you can't just,
So bad.
you got to get it out.
Okay.
Better out than in.
Yeah.
Shrek.
So, do you guys
I
start
love that movie.
with
Yeah.
like certain questions?
What are you talking about?
Not
the girl
really.
right now?
No, we
I'm
just free
actually
flow.
recording right now,
Yeah,
and
this isn't
we'll
all
just
strict
kind of.
Structured
I'll
like
just
some
kind
kind
of
of way,
pick
and
a
we just have
spot
fun.
where we'll start. I'll have the music fade in and us talking, just kind of like somebody walking into a
Pick my
conversation
nose.
at a bar.
Yeah,
Oh,
absolutely.
That's kind of
Yep.
the
Perfect. We're at a bar.
vibe
This
we're
is our
going.
version of Cheers. You know.
We're at a bar
Where everybody knows your
fantastic.
name.
Yeah.
We're sharing this mic over here, so I'm
So here.
just kidding.
So-
I wouldn't.
You started
No, you're
off by
good.
grabbing the back of her head.
Yeah, I was like, you need to talk into the mic.
It totally works.
No, like
as soon
this.
As,
When you laugh.
as soon as I felt his hand on the back of my head, I was like, I know what to do here.
We just got married, so we're
Yes,
actually technically on our
congratulations.
honeymoon right now.
This is exciting,
yeah,
and you
so-
guys.
And you guys are on the Talking Chitty
podcast.
podcast. I love it.
Yeah.
Talking so chitty.
So we're here with the Bricks of Happiness, Jesse and Lily, and they just got married. You got married in Bisbee.
Yeah.
Right? How was that?
It was amazing, but we
Yeah.
have a big heart in Bisbee because my nana was born and raised there.
And it was
Aw.
super simple. We kept it super simple, so there was no stress. Like, even up until the last minute, it was super easy.
That's good.
We tried to plan as little as possible.
You shouldn't plan weddings.
Totally.
I think
It's like our podcast.
yeah, you just kind
Plan
of do
as little
it.
as possible.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
put your
Are we going
close your
right
eyes,
now?
put
Is
your
this-
blinders on, and just fucking go. Just do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You should do a
Exactly.
blind podcast, like a lights off podcast.
Who's in my mouth?
That's great.
Oh,
That's good.
I haven't played that game
That is
since
a
high
Dane
school.
Cook joke.
Wait, no.
Did you guys like Dane Cook?
I love Dane
He's
Cook.
so funny.
That's one of
Yes.
his. That was a long time ago. But I was gonna say is we actually came really. I think I really started like following you guys whenever Chris Steer from Steer Family Adventures,
Yep.
isn't that
Mhm.
theirs?
Yep.
He hit us up on a group chat because you guys were having an awful time in your bus.
You weren't following us before?
I was, but you know how your feed gets
Ouch.
clouded and
I feel
stuff.
so
Like I didn't
betrayed.
really get.
Yeah.
I didn't really get
Yeah.
into like what was going on in your journey.
Yeah.
You know,
Sure.
because I had. Girl,
Well,
we
there's
got
some-
done with that bus. It's like fuck life.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna do anything.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I'm
we're
still
done.
blogging about the
Yeah.
bus 2 years later, and I'm not
Yeah.
even through with the kitchen. So like,
Yeah.
We have the same problem.
it's a lot, you know. But you guys like had like the worst winter. It seems like out of all the bus stories I've heard, that was kind of rough.
You guys have the roughest story
That was
by
actually
far.
just fall. That was fall.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Was it really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when did? So you
That
guys
luckily
were in
wasn't winter.
Idaho.
Fall is a lot like winter in northern Idaho.
North
so-
Idaho, it started becoming below 20s
Ooh.
at the end of October.
Whoa.
Keep in mind we had no wood
That's
stove
winter in
No.
Arizona.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, seriously.
That was
No
dead
stove,
winter.
Yeah, it was-
no heat
snowing
source.
here and there.
We
Yeah.
actually fried our batteries, not even knowing it.
Before that, not at the same time. That
Yeah,
was-
at the same time. No, we
They were fried when we got there from Seattle because we didn't have any sun for a couple days.
no, they were working
Oh.
pretty decently though.
Well,
until,
regardless,
like,
we fried
fall.
our batteries.
Yeah.
Oh,
Our first set.
man.
Luckily, we bought like recycled used cat batteries, like semi batteries, the
Oh,
first
nice.
go round.
Okay, well,
Because
yeah.
we knew we weren't going to get it right, and so it wasn't. We actually got our money out of
But
it.
the,
so
Well,
it was
that's
very-
good.
the story actually starts before that. So we tried to build out the bus within like 3 months because
This
his
is a
dad
year.
had cancer
Okay.
and we just wanted to get to him.
Yeah,
right.
sure.
So we left in Plywood. We got up to we got halfway to the registration office to register it as an RV, and and
It
ended
broke
up on
down
the
then.
side of the road.
That's always a fun time too.
Oh my
Yeah.
When you
god.
have to redo your registration to convert this into an RV.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
we broke.
same.
We couldn't get into we went to like one of the DOT places that's not government run. It's like a side business.
There you go.
Okay.
And we went there because friends own it. It's one of the easy DMV, not DMV
Nice.
offices,
Right.
right?
Yes.
It's like $20
Very
bucks
nice.
more. You don't have to wait. I'm good with that.
Yep.
They couldn't
Yep.
find our VIN number, so then we had to go to ADOT to get it done. And
In Flagstaff.
no,
Which
yeah, Prescott
was
only opens like once or twice a
100
week.
miles. from
So
Prescott.
we were going to Flagstaff to get it done and broke down on the way there. That was before we ever left for our first trip.
Whoa.
Oh my god.
So we did the high pressure oil pump. Another
Wait for it. Wait for it.
Wait for what?
High pressure oil pump.
IPR, ICP, injector O-rings,
Yeah.
and then finally got on the road.
$5,000 in.
Then on the first
Oh.
trip going up to my dad's, we were just getting up there as fast as we could. Like
Just really thinking like, damn, we really made the right decision right now. We're going
Yeah.
through Wyoming.
It's
And it
beautiful.
is so beautiful. And I swear,
we made it through Utah.
like
That was gorgeous.
20 minutes after me saying, like,
Yeah.
why doesn't anyone live here? This is so beautiful. 20 minutes into that conversation, bam.
Oh
Yeah.
shit.
The
Yeah,
warning lights start
interesting.
going off and stuff, and I pull over real quick, and we had thrown our fan bearing, and the fan had almost gone through the radiator. Luckily, it didn't.
Yeah.
We're a rear engine bus, so side of the road in Wyoming for 3-4 days,
Which was awesome.
which was awesome.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah, seriously, it was.
Yeah.
It was
That is
incredible.
the good thing when you break down in your
outlet.
bus. There's a lot of beautiful places you
Yeah.
can break down in.
We
I-
limped it down the road to like the closest pull off, which was less than a mile,
Okay.
and it was like a bird conservatory.
Oh,
Oh,
wow,
how
that's cool.
Just
So
right on
then
the
the
side of the
locals
2-lane
start driving
highway.
by
Yeah.
and they start seeing you. And the
Mhm.
first time they're like, "Oh, are you okay? Do
Yeah.
you need water?"
Oh wow.
Yeah,
You're
the
like,
county,
"Oh, yeah."
the county came by, like those workers, and they're like,
Like-
"Hey, we saw you're here. Do you need anything? Do you need a ride?" The highway patrol, the
nice.
sheriffs, like
Yeah.
everybody
Really?
stopped. Everybody was
Yeah.
super cool.
2 days
Nice.
later, they're like, "No, really, are you okay?"
Oh my god.
You
Yeah.
know, like if we had stayed there for any longer, these people would have brought us casseroles.
Oh
Yes.
my
That's
god.
great.
Seriously, started
Seriously.
inviting us to like events and stuff.
Seriously.
That's
Yeah.
sweet.
So
That's nice.
what we were
Yeah.
waiting on parts that I had to get overnighted from Nevada, and so then we met the coolest guy in the world, Randy, and
Cool name already.
yeah, lifelong friends. He picked me up. I was just hiking. It's on our Instagram. I'm like Evanston for parts on a sign, right? And he picks me up. He's on his way to California. He's moving back and forth between the two,
Okay.
and he gives me a ride like 35-40 miles into town, takes me to the Napa to get my parts. I thought he was just dropping me off there. No, then he takes me from there to the machine shop to get my old bearing
Wow.
pressed out, my new bearing pressed
Holy cow.
in, and then drives me back 40 miles to my bus,
Wow.
and then
And
helps
then
me
helps-
fix it. Like won't take no for an answer.
No.
Because like they had drag
What?
cars growing up and stuff. He's like, no, I'll totally help you get it
Great
back together,
guy.
no big deal. And it was amazing.
Wow.
And that was our first trip.
But that was
Wow.
So,
also
that has
Who's
nothing-
to say it was good or bad right now?
Yeah,
You
exactly.
know?
Oh, it was
Who's
the
to say it was
best.
good or
Yeah.
bad,
It
right?
was the
Yeah.
best,
Yeah.
and that was
Yeah.
our introduction into Nomad.
Golly.
That's what it was.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we got broken, right?
Nice.
Broke-
Nice. Nice.
broken.
Right away.
No lube.
Broken
No lube.
terribly.
Sorry.
Didn't even spit on it. Just took it in
A
hard.
terrible mechanical thing, but we also got broken to people, the random people that you
Yeah.
meet during travel.
There are
That's
some
true.
there are literally great people out here. So
Everywhere.
when you hear people say everybody sucks and blah, 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 no, that's not true. You got to get out there because there's people who would give the shirt off their back to help you. And
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And
Exactly.
like your
Oh.
story. Chris Steer has a similar story, and it was all through social media. He was stuck somewhere in Oregon, but it was a beautiful place. But people
Yeah.
kept, bringing his family things like water or, hey, do you need anything? The sheriff and that's what did I say, Oregon.
Chris-
So
Yeah, it was
Chris
Oregon.
Steer sent us several messages when we were broke down in Idaho. Like him and his family were.
because it was personal for him.
Yeah, for him it
Yeah.
was. I
He
think.
was invested in what happened to us,
Yeah.
and
Nice.
not just what happened to us, but like almost daily. Like, how are you doing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
know,
and
like-
not
He was a genuine
Yeah.
He's
I
good
think
people.
you're
Yeah.
He's good
definitely.
people.
He has
Yep.
a really good heart.
He just had their baby. Or he didn't have the
Oh,
baby.
that's
but
right. Yeah.
his wife.
They had,
And I
their
called
kid
him,
baby.
and he's just obviously busy. So
Yeah.
he's got a new
Yeah.
children.
You're in a bus
Yeah.
now with three babies now.
That's
so.
a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is. Enjoy
And-
that time.
You know, the
Seriously.
whole bus community was amazing, especially this last
Good.
breakdown, which we didn't go over. We
The
started
last
back
one-
at the beginning, but
Wait,
they- we got
the
so many
third
messages.
breakdown,
Good.
not the last
The
one.
third
Let's
breakdown.
not say the last.
Well, once we got
because-
to Idaho, we
The
had
most
to do
recent.
our
Most
air
recent.
compressor, which, you know, we did it at my dad's ranch, so that was a feat all in itself, but we got it done.
Well, but we learned a lesson from the first breakdown, which was, you're gonna pay $5,000 for someone to do something, or you can figure this shit out
Yes.
on your
Yeah.
own.
Yes.
I was
Yes.
about to
And
ask
so-
you that.
So when he did the radiator fan bearing on the side of the road in Wyoming, my confidences rose for him.
Mhm.
Then we did the air compressor together. Like he still has to figure stuff out. I don't know
Sure.
how it all
Master
works.
problem solver.
Right.
Yeah.
But I'm
Whoa.
I'm there with you, babe. Like I
Yeah.
will get down and
And you're at
dirty
least
and
extra
greasy.
hands. You know.
Yep.
So sometimes that's all they need.
And if I can't help you, well then I'll fucking feed you.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
Sure.
Right.
So
Yeah.
the last breakdown in Idaho, though, I feel, well, it was still mostly him, but I was still
You're
super-
championing him. I'm sure it sounds. I mean, that's not something you can really do. alone.
Well, who can find a 13 mil
Yeah.
socket faster than me?
Oh my god.
Like, seriously.
Frickin'
Like,
That's
Oh my gosh.
That's great.
stupid. You know, I have like 4 or 5 10mm. You can
Oh.
only find one on a good day.
Sure.
Yeah, right.
And
Sure.
it's never the one you need. You're like, I need a deep socket.
Yes.
no,
Yeah.
Short
I can
one.
find
Or not
all
this cheap
three
one.
right now.
This one stretches.
That's
Give me a
good.
chance.
If
That's
I had the
good.
toolbox, we could like have a race. That'd be great.
That
Nice.
would
Oh
be
my God.
great. We should do that.
Did you guys go through that stage where like you had so many tools everywhere in your bus and you're just like
We still have so
you
many
spent
tools
so
everywhere in our
much
bus.
more time looking for the tool than actually doing something with it? I felt like that. a
Oh
lot.
yeah.
We had three
Yeah.
like longer
Right.
lifetime tables, and
When you were building.
Yeah.
oh yeah,
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
I'll tell you what, I will give a shout out to lifetime tables,
We'll
man.
hashtag it.
Those things, seriously, they are cheap, but they fucking rock
Yeah, they
because
do.
We built our whole bus on them.
dude, I drilled holes
Yeah.
through
We had
mine,
steel
like
saw
yeah.
mats and
Oh, yeah.
paint
Oh, I
and
cut
sand.
through it. I mean, this thing's
We had
still
to throw them
standing. It
away.
looks haggard, but
You
they're
know what's
great.
still bullshit though?
What
Is
is
when you walk up to someone or they walk up to you and they're like,
Oh yeah.
man, your husband did a really awesome job.
Yes.
I'm like,
what?
Can I talk to your husband about the solar? I'm like,
Like,
I
what?
don't know shit about the solar.
You gotta talk to my wife.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The solar guru's in there.
That
You
is
gotta talk to her.
awesome.
Absolutely.
If you say that again, she's
She's
gonna kick
ours.
you in the nuts.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
mean, you
Give
don't
us
want to
the
like
credit.
reschool them on like the way the world works,
Right,
you know? But at the
right.
same time, I'm
The
like,
assumption is there that the guy
you
did
know,
everything.
you should really just tune into your cable channel right now because I have no patience.
I feel really bad for Jesse because his arm is like the boom for the mic and
Boom.
your elbow.
But he's doing so well.
You're
Like
gonna
even
be
when
like-
she moves her head,
He's on.
like
it.
I mean, he's moving the
Well,
microphone.
You're gonna
I
have,
do
like,
have
so it's great.
I have a bit of
I was-
experience following her mouth with things. Like, no, come back. Don't do the dishes.
Don't do it.
They can be dirty. She even knows.
I like the
There.
dishes
Yep.
dirty. No, I've done a bit of radio and some production stuff in
Very
the
good.
past for
Nice.
the football team.
Sequential.
Just a little bit,
Nice.
not a lot.
But
you
it's
know,
enough,
a couple
like,
months.
to at least get some basics in, you know?
Yeah, like talking to the damn mic.
Yeah.
You were the one that taught me. I mean, it's mine, and you were like, no, it's like right there at the tip is where
Yeah,
you
but
gotta
you
do.
don't use this.
You gotta
mic.
talk to
You
the
use
tip.
that
Right at the
fancy
tip.
freaking thing.
Yeah.
Look
It's
at
like,
it.
dude, this
God,
thing's
it's
like
so hot.
$38
What are you
this
talking- It's
mic.
all anodized blue.
Yeah, he did get a pretty one.
Sexy. Look at yours.
It is
You're,
sexy,
you're
right?
like, once you go black.
I got a big black one.
How many cock jokes did you guys make
When you cock
while
the
you were
bus,
making or building the bus?
we cock it
Actually,
in.
the most recent one was about 2 days ago when we were showing the bus
Nice.
off, and we're like showing the contents of our bunk beds,
Okay.
right? Which there's no kids in.
Oh, I just
right
meant
now.
like cock, not like
Oh,
actual
no.
cocks.
There's
Like
caulk
dildos?
in the
Oh.
bunk beds.
Oh,
And she
okay.
said,
Yeah, like
She
she's
said-
cock because we'll never finish working.
she said, "Is it white cock or black cock?" And I was like,
Let me look.
God, you're like, is this a joke? Because I'm so juvenile.
No,
I'm gonna lie.
fucking white cock.
This is the first time these people are in our bus.
Are you
They're-
serious?
my
Yeah, they're the
God.
friends that we met in Bisbee.
Oh, okay,
Oh,
That
nice.
live in
Nice.
my nana's house that she grew up in.
Oh, very
Yeah,
cool.
we made like immediate friends with them. They're amazing.
Nice. Very cool.
That's good to know that her house is
Oh.
being handed down to like like-minded people.
This shit can go on for hours, really.
Yeah, that they're incredible. That can go on for days. So can Bisbee because
Yeah,
it's-
Bisbee's cool.
like we thought we found our people, you know, like
Yeah.
you know, we found our bus people.
Yeah.
Yeah, we also found them in Bisbee.
Yeah, I bet.
It's
There's a lot of.
amazing.
It's-
And not just because we have like the back history on it, but just
It's a cool town.
It's like an Austin, but it doesn't look anything
it's
like Austin.
old.
But they just keep it weird, and you just see every kind on the street.
Yes,
Every
yeah.
kind.
Just
Yes,
everything.
Yeah.
you do. Like fuzzy boots and
Yeah,
purple
everything.
tutus.
Yep.
Like the whole thing
Yep.
is so.
Business people,
There's-
goth-looking people,
No,
hipster-looking
they
people.
let it fucking hang
Doug
out.
Stanhope.
which
They
is
should.
awesome.
Why shouldn't you? Be who you are.
Oh,
Don't
you know,
Seriously.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I just stole the mic from you.
But did you see
He even like
Took
put
it
his
right out of
shoulder
your mouth.
against her.
No, but they just a buddy of his that came to Bisbee because of Doug just opened a comedy shop there where they're going to start doing comedy stuff.
Chuckleheads.
Let me tell you.
Chuckleheads.
what,
And I'm telling you, they are
Chuckleheads, Dwayne.
they already have a big roster. Yeah.
Like real people. So
Yeah,
we
Doug's
got a
coming for the
guy-
opening, of course, with
That's
some friends.
cool.
Ooh. Shuli from the Howard Stern show is on the docket coming up here in like a week or two. He's the producer of the Howard Stern
Okay,
show.
okay.
Like that's not a small following,
No.
you know, and they're bringing Doug lives there.
Wow.
So
I
all
wonder what
kinds.
This is going to turn into from that. I wonder if anything, just having the more attention. You know how sometimes
you-
towns can be.
You can only park so many cars there. So.
That is really
Yeah.
true. We
No,
had
that
a
is
big
true.
ass truck, and it was.
Oh,
we're
yeah.
like, well, we got to find a parking spot for this. What I was gonna say was, shit. What was I gonna say? It was about the comedy club. Oh, we met this dude at Carl's Jr. here. His dad was a musician
You're
in the
making me want
Commodores.
Or
With
did something
Lionel
with the
Richie?
Commodores. Yeah.
And yeah, and his mom was a singer. Anyway, he does a comedy at Laughs in Tucson, and he invited us. And he's yeah, I'll get
Yeah,
y'all
we went there.
backstage
The
pass."
place
We
is
went
great.
there.
Is
Yeah.
it really?
Oh, yeah.
He goes. He does gigs on Thursdays. I guess Thursdays and Fridays.
It's coming out with 2 movies.
He has
One
2
this year and then one
movies
next year. Yeah.
Yeah. So like, I need to tell him if he knows about that.
I was thinking
because
about him
maybe
today.
he
We never
could-
contacted him.
No,
Yeah.
we need to go to a show.
Yeah, we had a fantastic time at Laughs.
That's good.
It was
I
it was
haven't
super
gone.
random, like it was
Wasn't it
spur
like a
of the
Groupon
moment.
or something?
Yeah.
No,
I could see that.
No, I
Yeah.
bought the
Comedy shows are
Groupon.
great.
No, I bought the Groupon for a helicopter ride for
Oh, yeah.
Jesse,
Oh, that's
Okay.
awesome.
and then we missed the fucking helicopter.
slept in?
ride.
Oh shit.
You slept in?
Yeah, we
it was for
slept
my
in.
birthday. And
So I was like, okay, what cool shit can we do? Let's go to a comedy club, which he had never been to.
Right.
And like, it's a risk. It's Tucson, you
never
know.
know. Yeah.
We showed up. The dude picked
was
on
incredible.
Jesse the
I love it.
entire
we sat up
time.
front for.
We
on
do
purpose.
that too.
So great.
I
it was
love
so
that.
funny. It was so funny.
We
Like-
dang man.
Like so much
We
so
did
that they
too.
came up to me afterwards. 2 of them were like, "I'm really sorry that I just ribbed on you the whole time." And I was like,
Really?
"No, it's fucking
That's
great. Like,
cool.
don't
So
ever
great.
stop doing that.
If you're
If
not
you're
in
in
the
the front,
front.
it's your fault."
Yes,
Yeah.
like,
And if you don't know
choose to
that,
sit
And,
somebody
and
should
they're
at
playing
least
off
warn
of you. Exactly. It's
Oh,
not like
yeah.
they have some
Well,
beef
and
with
you
you.
never-
We were in.
And I was like trying to eat. I'm just dying, crying. He's,
Wow.
like, he's like, "Oh yeah, take another bow."
yeah.
And he had never been, so he didn't know not to.
It was
sit
your
up
first
front.
stand-up
No,
event.
Yeah.
first.
Nice.
Yeah. First
Well, no,
one.
no. I had been to
Not a
Um,
comedy club.
no, not a comedy club, but I've been to
But like a
comedy
stage.
shows.
Oh,
gotcha,
okay.
But I
got
was
you.
never like front row. You know,
Right.
like I knew they picked on front row. I was
Sure,
At
sure.
least you
expecting
had
but-
that, sure.
Yeah, like Carrot Top used to come through Prescott every year when I was a kid.
Oh.
I did that.
Nice.
Who knows? Jeff Dunham, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But never been to like a small comedy club.
Right.
That place is awesome. But Chuckleheads is going to be incredible.
I'm
Yeah.
excited. When is that going to open? Do you know?
Their
It's
soft
open.
opening is now, but they're not doing their first gig is coming up. It's online.
Oh, we need to go look
Yeah,
at
if
that.
you just like Google it.
Yeah, we do.
We were up in New York.
Definitely do.
It was kind of like our honeymoon that we finally took. Like, I
Yeah,
guess,
2008.
Yeah, and I guess the main thing we did is every single night we had tickets to a comedy club. We went to the.
They just give them out for free,
Hold on.
and
On the
so they're just
corner
trying
and
to
stuff, yeah.
get seats, or butts and seats.
Yeah.
That would be great.
But so we went to this one. There was a
Cracking
guy
burgers.
from Louisiana, and he was the MC. And so somehow he got to talking, or he asked the question like where everybody's from, and so
Yeah.
she says, Louisiana, that's where she's from, and So they had this connection, and so I don't know. We kind of feel like he went to the back because
And
he
told
played off of
everybody.
us for his little set in the beginning, and then I feel like he just went back and told everyone, if
Those
you
people
get
are
stuck
good.
or something, these people, they're having fun, they're
They're gonna laugh at
drinking, they're
anything.
laughing. Like we were just having a good time, and so one of these women comes out, and she just keeps like she was trying to remember her set. In the process of doing that, she's just staring at my
And
crotch
his dick, right at his dick, just
for
staring
like
at
a good
it.
15
It
seconds,
got
you know.
lost in his
And then
penis.
she like played it off so perfectly and just called herself out. I'm sorry, sir. I was just looking at your dick. I apologize, ma'am. That's your husband. I mean, this was like the greatest night we
it's
met.
so
Ari
good.
Spears.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah,
on
this was
stage.
back in 2008. So I don't know how big he was back
I
then,
don't
but
know, it was cool.
it was,
We were like,
it
"I've
was
seen
awesome."
You. I've seen you on Comedy Channel.
he
Comedy
made a
Central.
joke, said the word niglet, and
I
nobody
was
laughed.
dying.
We were
I
dying
died.
laughing. And then everyone starts laughing, you know,
That's
like they were just,
hilarious.
It
oh, I
was
don't know if I
good.
could laugh at this or not.
It was good. I enjoyed it. And then I was dumb. I took so many shots, like, and got so fucking wasted. Then
She got white girl wasted.
And then I got hot chocolate. I don't know why. And then
'Cause you were
fucking-
wasted.
And I drank it, and then I went straight to the bathroom, and we didn't get to finish the show because I was
It's
like,
alright.
we have to go to the hotel right now. I ruined it.
Yeah.
But it was fun. I love comedy clubs, so I'm glad to know
Me
that.
too. Me too.
Chuckleheads.
They're so fun.
I
So
wondered
you
if he
guys
was gonna do something, but
We're in Idaho.
Yeah, we completely got
That's
it.
It
okay.
happens.
We come
No
back.
worries.
We'll come back.
Yeah.
To it.
Yeah,
We'll get
we-
off again.
Well, we weren't in Idaho.
No, not yet. They were on their way. Y'all
Yeah,
were stuck
yeah.
in Utah.
We broke down in Idaho.
Oh,
Okay.
broke down
But
in Idaho.
yeah, Utah, Wyoming,
No,
when we first broke
Wyoming.
that was the first time.
Okay.
That was the
No,
first year
that was
that
the
we went up.
second time. Second time.
Wyoming
because
was
the
oh
First
yeah.
time was the register.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
broke
Yep.
down in state before we ever left. I guess I don't really count that one.
And what kind of bus do y'all have again? I don't think we said that.
The
It's an
fucking
international.
Mac Daddy of buses.
Not
Back
really. It's
daddy?
It's got
it's
the
a
rear
DT
engine.
466 with a 3060.
Wow, and it's
So-
got the rear engine
Right.
too, which is I like that. It pushes it up hills and stuff. I think that's cool.
I like it because it's not so loud when we're.
Yeah.
You know, I
Yeah,
would like it
yeah.
We
better
can
if
think.
it would stop fucking breaking.
It's been pretty good to us for the last couple months at least.
That's good. Yeah.
No,
Well, you've
Okay.
changed
That is not
everything out,
one.
I think.
Oh,
shit.
oh, way to go! You broke the dog.
It's okay.
You broke the dog.
It's okay, Mama. You're
You wasn't
good. You're okay, Mama. She's like, I'm gonna
It's
come
just wanted to
squash
check
that
in.
shit
Oh,
right
good
now.
girl.
He's
Yes,
fucking
good
with my
girl.
family.
Get away from
It's a
Mom.
good
This mop
girl.
us.
That's
So
our security one.
so yeah, we
That's a
broke
good
down
one.
in Wyoming when we were going up to my dad's the first time when he was
Okay.
real sick, and then we decided that we were going to do summers there.
Okay.
So the second time we were taking the kids and going up the coast.
Like this epic trip up the coast, though. It wasn't just a trip up the coast. We stopped at Hearst
We did, like, the
Castle and
trip,
the
yeah.
mystery spot
Oh,
and
I took him to
freaking
Universal.
Monterey
Yeah.
Aquarium. Like
We didn't go to
did.
Monterey.
Did you guys do
No,
Trees of
we
Mystery in the Redwoods?
No, because we weren't in the same redwoods.
That's right. You're the one
Yeah.
that taught me. I didn't know there were so
No,
many different redwoods.
Yeah,
Right.
who knew?
I thought there was just one
Do your
spot.
research, peeps.
Yeah.
It's not what you think.
But it was incredible. So then we picked his oldest daughter up in Portland. She was only supposed to stay with us for a week.
Okay.
And
That was
so
like
we
4
had to,
days.
no, it was a week. And then we dropped her back off in Seattle. So it was like 7 days from Portland to Seattle, which seems like a lot of territory to cover, but it's actually not.
Yeah.
But somewhere along the way, the bus threw codes.
Oops.
What?
You're good. I'm in confidence.
So
Trying to breathe beer. My
So,
bad.
so we look up our codes.
So
we
good.
like do our scan tool. We look up the codes, and it says ECM power loss.
Yeah, low power at ECM,
Low power at
meaning
ECM.
that the voltage going to the computer was not enough for it to be happy.
Certain-
And what
Oh.
causes
It was like a
that?
warning. You need to
Short or
fix it.
something?
Well,
So that's what we
Oh.
thought. So
certainly it must. It has to be electrical at this point. It
Okay,
has to
sure.
be like a wire, right?
Yeah.
That's what
Just a
you're
wire.
thinking, yeah.
Yeah. No.
So it's taken a little bit longer to start, but it's still running great. No problem.
Okay.
So we finished the trip out. We get to my dad's in Northern Idaho. The kids had a couple days before they went back, so we just parked it. I ran it to dump tanks real quick and then fill up and come back. And then it sat for maybe a week. And then we were like, okay, I'm going to have to tear this apart so we can figure out what's going on. Let's go to Home Depot, get the materials that I need. I'm just expecting you to cut in, so I'm holding it further away. Anyway, so let's go to Home Depot, get the stuff that we need so that we can finish our shower and bathroom
Sure.
while we do this. It wouldn't start.
Oops.
So I'm like, well, low power ECM. So I start diving down the electrical hole. I replaced.
You would think this is the lowest point in the story, but I promise you, that's like
Just the tip.
nothing. It's nothing.
Yeah, just the tip. So I replace a ton of wires, all the battery wires, all the grounds, and then I start chasing wires in my wire loom on my motor. I took all the wire loom off of the entire motor and engine
Nothing.
compartment and started tracing through everything.
Yeah, it's like,
And there were a
No, it
couple that
wasn't
had been like
nothing.
rubbed because it had, you know, a bunch of sand and dirt in it.
Right.
Sure.
A bunch of the bus wiring was corroded, but not bad.
Right.
You know, and this bus is from Southern Arizona, from Tucson,
Nice.
Marana, actually.
Yeah,
Yep,
so
But it's
Marana.
dry,
Yeah.
right? Still corrosion in the wires. So the
fuck?
people that you know you
Wow.
think you're wiring, it's not. Like you,
It's just
just
not.
look at it, you know, because it's gonna leave you at some point.
Mm.
So we go tearing through all of that. I replace a ton of wires, small wires, big wires, grounds, everything.
Mm.
Get all my voltages to where they need to be, and the bus still doesn't start.
What the hell?
So then we start testing pressures, and we figure out that we have no low end oil pressure at all.
No high end either. And we
Well,
had
yeah.
just replaced the high pressure oil pump.
Mm.
Right.
So we had just replaced this and
Yeah,
the
like
injector
2,000 miles ago.
O-rings. So how come we don't have why
Yeah.
come we don't have oil pressure
Why
at
come?
the top? Like this is bullshit. We just
Yeah.
did this stuff,
Yeah.
you know? So look at the low pressure oil pump. That fucking thing is knee deep into the damn cover, the front cover, not the top cover, the front cover of the engine.
Hmm.
Like this is bullshit.
Kind of.
Go
And you
ahead,
didn't know
correct me.
anything about it though. Like
Well,
this is all stuff you guys
I mean,
you learned on YouTube.
Well,
and
yeah, for the most
diagnosing
part, I grew
it.
up in
Yeah.
a shop.
just- okay, well, guys, you had some
So
kind
I
of
understood.
knowledge,
I
yeah.
understand
not like
gas
this, though.
engines, but
Sure.
not diesel. Like I knew the
Yeah.
basics in auto
Yeah,
shop
sure.
in high school, but that was
Yeah.
it. So I kind of had to teach myself all
That's
of
cool.
it. But the low pressure oil pump is mechanical on the DT, and it's
Mm.
behind the harmonic balancer. We're a rear engine, so I had to take the whole back off.
Oh
I
man.
had to take the radiator
Oh my
off, drop all.
God.
Yeah, it was.
And did you have like a lift, or like did you have to have
No.
something like that, or like? Is
No,
that
I had it pulled up on a couple of like leveling blocks to get it a little higher.
just-
And then I would fill the air tank with the air compressor so
Yeah.
that my
Nice. Yeah, and use
suspension would
your
go up.
bags.
Let me
Smart.
preface this by saying that we are in rural northern Idaho,
Oh,
right?
Okay.
So
It's
I
beautiful up
actually
there.
called
Napa's 30 minutes.
Okay.
okay.
Nice.
But I called like 5 separate mechanics and asked them, "Can you come to us? Like, we'll pay you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll pay you." And that's not even like a normal thing, right?
Right.
But we had already gotten so far deep into it and still didn't know what was going on that we were willing to pay someone
Yeah,
to
sure.
come out and help us.
Nice.
So we called I called like half a dozen mechanics. One mechanic said that he actually knew our engine,
Oh.
but he was retired and
Oh my
not
God.
willing to come,
Come
out
on.
to
Really?
it. No, really.
Yeah.
Really?
It
He
was
used
like-
the "I'm retired"
no.
excuse?
No,
Yeah.
Look,
we
I would love to
did-
come help you, but I'm retired.
Well,
No.
that was a
Fuck
number
you.
that was a number that we got through my
like
dad.
other.
I
Yeah.
got you.
So it
Okay.
wasn't like we
No.
called a shop.
So
Sure.
no, we really had no other option. Like
Well, actually, there was one shop that I called after Lily had called all of them.
Mhm.
I called another place, and they're like, "Yeah, I'm really familiar with your motor. I work on those all the time. Blah blah blah. I can't get out today. Let me give you a call back." That was on like Thursday, right?
Like
Okay.
hope.
Yeah.
Didn't hear from them on Friday. Didn't hear from them on Monday.
Oh,
Called,
No.
didn't get anybody. I'm like, "You're
They
not
were
coming to
gone.
look at my bus.
No.
Yeah.
No.
If you
Absolutely.
can't even call me to let me know
Absolutely.
you can't make it, you're not
Yeah.
working on
Yeah.
it." For
So-
You're
however
already
much-
showing me what
Yeah.
I'm going to deal with.
And it was already, this much per hour, this much for a
Oh,
service call.
shit.
Well, you're this far out because we were a ways away from them. So,
So
it
he was
was-
already spending money and
Oh, yeah.
hasn't done anything
It
yet.
was going to cost me like $500 for him to come crack
Yeah.
it open.
Got it.
To
Wow.
oh yeah, it is a bus. That was going to
Yeah,
cost
it
us
is a
$500.
bus.
Right.
You sure were? This was a DT 466.
yeah, exactly. So
I can tell because it's blue. Like it's not yellow. Cats are yellow. Like that's
Right.
Yeah, that's what that guy was
God.
going to give me.
Right.
So yeah, I started. I'm like, okay, well, we'll figure out how to do this. So I started tearing it apart.
Nice. Fuck
No.
yeah.
Yeah, I got the whole radiator off, got everything off, got the harmonic balancer off, got the oil pump all replaced, which I pulled it off. I didn't know the oil pump was bad. It's like a gear in a cog, and
Oh
it
really?
looked fine to me.
Mm.
But I shared it with a couple people, and they're like, "Yeah, that's bad." I'm like, "How the fuck can you tell?" And then I got the new one,
Okay.
and I'm like, "Okay, the new one you can like barely turn and rotate it inside of the old one. You can like spin around."
Oh,
Yeah, there's
You
no
know,
slop.
Right, but
Absolutely.
yeah. So I was like, okay, so
Yep.
we replaced that.
Thank you.
While I'm in there, there's also a pressure relief valve that lets oil flow back into the oil pan.
Okay.
And I'm like, the only thing between me and that is the front cover. So while I'm in here, it's like $20. I should probably replace
Oh,
it,
absolutely.
right?
Absolutely.
So I pull the front cover off. I order all new seals and everything, and I'm like, oh my god, this is like the whole inside of my motor,
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
fuck this
What
up.
am I doing?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
Nobody walk
absolutely.
near here.
Yeah. Dude,
Not
it's ver-
Not to mention the bolt that you broke
Oh,
on
yeah,
the inside
mhm.
of the motor.
Oh,
So
nice.
be careful. The international book, at
Oh,
least the three that I have,
don't
the torque specs.
Don't
is
The
wrong.
three?
people.
Yeah.
All
So I
three.
over tightened it and stretched a bolt.
Because you went according to those 3 books.
Exactly. With
Those
with
specs
a
are
torque wrench.
they're
I've never used a
shit.
torque wrench in my life. I know how to
They're
use them. I used to
shit.
run a shop.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh,
I
RFT, right?
Yeah.
Any
Oh,
mechanic knows
I
are
love
real
RFT.
fucking tight.
Yeah.
And
the torque specs.
so I went off
No.
off the book and stretched the bolt and broke it.
The one time. The one time.
Seriously, the
Yeah.
first time
You're
I'm
like,
like,
this is
I
gonna
have to
matter.
I need to
use
get
it.
him a shirt here to fuck shit up.
Yeah.
Nice.
So I had to helicoil my block and get a new bolt in.
You had a what coil you bought?
helicoil. It's how you repair like stripped threads.
Oh, okay.
So I was able to. Luckily, it's okay. Not give me something to knock on. because-
Yeah, right.
Sorry.
You're good. I know I'm waiting for
Yeah,
me when I
yeah.
come out of
Because that it's still okay. So
Yeah.
and then got all that back together, and the son of a bitch still wouldn't start.
No, not only would it not start, it started actually. It
Oh
started.
yeah,
It
it
sounded
did start.
Did you have to
right.
drain your
fucking
fluids?
great. Oh,
multiple
like 4
times?
times.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
So it started great, and we were like, "Fuck yeah,
Victory.
we did this!
Yeah.
Holy shit, we did it!"
Right.
We left it running for like an hour,
Okay.
and then he said, "Hey, hun, can you go check back behind the bus, make sure everything's running great?" I was like, "Yeah, sure." So I went to the back of the bus. Shit's peeing oil and fucking fuel everywhere.
Yeah, it was
Like,
pee and oil
we were-
fuel mix out of the.
We
the
were
slab tube.
already goddamn devastated. We were
Oh
we
my
were
God.
already devastated. So to like see this was like the end of the line for us.
Yeah.
This was it.
Yeah.
We're staying the winter in North Idaho. We're from fucking Arizona.
Oh my god.
So-
It's already negative.
Our wood
20.
stove's on back order, so we can't
Oh,
get it.
Oh,
Stove's
you know,
on
why
back
not?
order.
Why not? Because that's how that goes.
Nope,
Absolutely.
we're doing it right now. Just order the fucking snow boots.
Yeah, right.
She had them in the
Get your
Amazon
REI
cart.
catalog
In the
out.
Amazon cart, she's
Order-
like, "These are the ones I'm gonna get." Should I order them?
These are the mucklucks I'm getting.
Yeah.
Son of a bitch.
I
You know
think
what?
they were. They were.
Freaking composting toilet is not gonna work because that shit
Frozen.
is gonna freeze. Like literally freeze.
You have no heat.
No heat.
And is
Well,
this
we
about the
were
time you're...
plugged into my dad's. No, luckily,
not
we were
that
plugged
time.
into my dad's, so
No.
we had electric heaters.
That
but
doesn't
that doesn't
quite
do
count.
that doesn't do 20 to 60
No.
below with
Yeah.
wind chill. Sure.
No.
I'm just not
We
even
We had
close.
3 of those bitches plugged in. We were still
Still
freezing ass.
Well, you've been
Wow.
good in Arizona. Those
Yeah.
little floor heaters
Yeah.
been like rocking.
Yeah.
It was still
Yeah,
like
it's
99
plenty.
degrees
Yeah.
in October.
So, truth be told, if we were in Arizona, we'd still probably be parked wherever we broke down at.
Oh shit.
Like the cold is what kicked our asses into gear,
That's
you know.
crazy, yeah.
Oh, I get it. Yeah.
Made you had to be accountable for
Yeah, like we have to get out of
figuring
here,
this
or
shit
we have to
out.
push this thing into the barn and start insulating it now.
Yeah,
Mm. Like,
Like
absolutely.
we only have this many
Oh,
weeks until
I-
we know it's cold.
You didn't even have the insulation up yet.
Well, yeah, but I mean, you
Okay.
need
Not
if
in
you're
that
gonna
kind
put
of-
I
air in a
understand. Yeah,
bus,
that's even
like,
if you insulate as
yeah.
best as you
We
can
were
in
gonna
this
take-
bus.
No.
It is not ready for negative
we
20.
were gonna
No.
we were gonna line
Yeah.
the bus with straw bales and wrap it with
Okay,
tarps
nice.
and-
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But every day I was going outside with my hair dryer and hitting the,
I remember
the
those
freshwater
posts.
lines
Yeah. I remember
Yeah.
your
for
posts.
like 45 minutes with a fucking hair dryer.
Gotta
That's
do what you
crazy.
gotta do though sometimes. You know?
Yeah.
You know, there
We
was a
did.
there was actually a point
And
when
y'all
I
are
was
here
standing
now.
there with the hairdryer. Maybe it gave me like enough breath, a timeout
Okay.
that I was like, okay, this is what life is right now. Like I can do this.
Yeah.
It's not
Ideal.
awful.
Yeah.
No, it's not awful.
Yeah.
No. Like I'm standing out here and I'm looking at all of these beautiful mountains and
Yeah.
trees, and I'm just holding a fucking hairdryer, and I'm like, it's okay. But the thing that kept me like pushing forward was knowing how hard he was trying.
Yeah.
There was a part of me that really actually just wanted to stick through it.
Yeah. be stuck there.
There's a part of me that still does want to be stuck there, but I'm
Yeah.
scared.
Yeah, it was hard to leave. Like we're even
Sure.
even once
get that.
after that happened, I had to replace the fuel lift pump and I replaced the O-rings in the fuel
Oh, it's a
lines. Ended up
mess.
replacing the injectors. Got the wrong injectors. Had to get the right injectors. Replaced injector cups afterwards because it was leaking fuel oil mixture and
Oh, it
then it was
just goes
topping off
on
and then
and
dumping
on
out.
and
And like
on.
that was 3 different fixes where I got it running and then no, it's not running and then got
Right.
it running. So even after it was finally fixed, we're like, what did we leave?
Yeah, right. Like y'all had already kind
Like
of.
we were in love with it, and
Yeah.
it was sad to leave, but I mean, I'm glad we did. We
But
weren't
what
ready.
was the reason y'all left? Just because of the winter? Because the winter was coming.
We weren't
Yeah.
prepared
Yeah,
for winter.
I get that.
Winters are tough, even if you are prepared for it. You know.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, like with the wood stove, we'd be okay.
Yeah,
You
sure.
know, we'd
Sure.
probably have to do some extra insulation,
Sure.
but
Sure.
Yep.
we'd be all right. But before that, no way. We would have had to move into the house, and if that would have happened, then
But just
all
don't
kinds
live in
of
somewhere that
kinds of
gets that
issues
cold.
would have happened. Yeah,
You have to be a completely different
Yeah,
person.
It's
You know.
survival, really.
Yeah, I mean, -20.
See, that's like
It's
a
crazy.
challenge to me. I'm like, oh, I have to be a different person.
Sure.
I have to do this.
Sure.
I have to survive.
Can you rise to it?
Yeah, fuck yeah, I can.
Nice.
Outside
Yeah.
of your
Yeah,
comfort zone.
like-
well, I lived there for 2
I like
years.
that you take that as like a challenge.
Yeah.
You know, that's cool.
I think you have to in bus life, and I think if
Everything
you
is a
don't, you
challenge.
sell it in a year and
Absolutely.
you're done.
Those people that just wrote the
Absolutely.
article about
It's
us,
too hard.
you know,
Oh, Open Road
what
Chronicles.
they said.
Yeah, it was.
Open Road
Open Road Chronicles. They feature a new RV family every month, and
Oh,
I
okay.
hit them up.
I've never heard of them.
Yeah, me neither. They had like 8,000 followers on Facebook or something, and I found them somehow. I sent them a link. I'm like, hey, can I send you our article? And they're like, yeah. And so they sent me some questions. I filled it out. But she had said it was something like, basically talked about our kick butt attitude. Like it doesn't matter what life throws at you. It's just because we're not typical RV families. We're not just going and buying an RV and it
Right.
breaks and we can take it to the shop if it
We're
breaks.
broke. I'm gonna
Or
go to the dealer.
oh shit, this shitty little RV piece. Like anything RV in this bus, it breaks. Like it's cheap and it's plastic.
Yep.
Anything we built is fucking solid. It's there still. But
Yeah.
I think with bus people, I think you have to rise to that challenge because if
Absolutely.
you don't, then you fucking give up and you just go you get another mortgage, go get another house or apartment, whatever the
Move
fuck,
into an
and
apartment. Yeah.
do it again. Do
Hey,
it all
That's
over
why I don't
again.
call those people that actually have someone build their bus for them. You're not real schooly people.
I don't
You are
think
trying
so.
to live a lifestyle, but you
Absolutely.
are not one of us
'Cause if it
because you
breaks-
don't
Well, like,
understand
once
how
you're
this even
once you're in it
works,
for like
you
2
know?
years, sure.
Sure, maybe
A
you
year.
can
But like,
figure
there's
it
that
out.
period
Even a
where
year is good.
Yeah,
Like,
but see, they don't understand
They're-
how anything
yes.
works in there.
You don't
So
have
they
the
don't have those
same
challenges.
gumption,
They
you know?
haven't gone through and earned their master problem solve badge.
Totally.
Because you don't build a bus.
No.
You just,
Solve
you
problems
solve problems
the whole
every
time.
single
Well,
day.
here's
That's
the
all it
other
is.
thing.
to
yeah, the
build
whole
one.
damn thing's a problem.
It is.
Ex-
no,
You don't
Yeah.
have square anything.
Nothing
Yeah.
square.
You build your dream though.
It's
Exactly,
every so
exactly,
different. It's according
exactly.
to that
So,
person.
Yep.
How much is your dream worth? Now,
That's true.
granted, we
That's
were
true.
really, really fortunate to be able to even fix these problems.
Sure,
right?
absolutely.
He was working the whole time. He was working
But the information
online,
is there.
Yep.
but the
You just have
information
How
was
hungry
there.
are
Oh
you?
yeah.
But how hungry are you?
Yeah,
That's
do you
exactly
want
it.
it?
So we're sitting in our bus, like, is this the end of our dream? And we're like,
how
what the
hard.
fuck?
Yeah.
No, it's
Yeah.
no.
It's just the
It's
beginning.
not the fucking end. I'll
Yeah.
buy you a pair of fucking trousers
Yeah,
that are
in my-
insulated.
Didn't build
Like,
it,
we're
though,
doing
Would you
this.
have done that? Would you have stuck it
Could
out?
you have persevered?
No, I
If
would
you
have.
didn't
That's what I'm
build
probably
talking
would just
about.
park to Airbnb
No.
and go.
Fuck
Exactly,
it. Yeah, it's like,
exactly.
fuck this
It would've
life,
That's what I'm
gone.
saying.
What
It's
is
a
this all
different
about?
mentality.
Yeah.
Gone.
Just like
It
it's a
would've been
different
gone.
mentality to live in the north. when you're
Yes.
at -20. When you
Oh,
go like when we used to
60.
live in Alaska, it was seriously, you would get on a plane in Seattle, and as soon as you got on that plane to go back to Alaska, it did not look like any plane you've ever been on.
No.
Just the caliber of person.
It was
They were bigger, they were
rough.
meaner, they were rougher looking, they were tougher.
Furs.
They were all nice
Yeah.
people.
There's
But
something,
it's just a different
there's
person.
something about that type of person
Absolutely.
mentality that like really attracts me. Like I've been born and raised in
Hey,
Arizona.
wait, I just
This is
married you.
fucking easy. No, this
She's saying
isn't
you're a rugged
easy.
man.
She's
No
saying
flights to
you're
Alaska for you.
That you're a bear?
sissy. No, just
She's pissed at me because I shaved my beard and goatee.
I did.
Aw.
I am.
It's not as burly as a
but
bear.
there takes a certain kind of individual
Yeah.
to say, hi, I'm just gonna live it through this.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And I'm not like I'm not gonna do it for social media or
Right.
Right.
Bus Life
Right.
or
Yeah,
any
for
of
likes.
that bullshit.
Yes.
Like I'm just gonna
for
fucking
you.
sit here and be cold and rugged
Mm-hmm.
and live it through because I can.
Absolutely.
That's
Yeah, I
that's
get
my
that.
biggest
Fuck.
bitch
Because
about
you
it,
chose
right?
to do that.
What's that?
Is the people that, and I don't have like any names or anything because it's not
Sure.
like one person individual. It's certain posts and certain this and certain that all across nomad life. Like
Yeah.
there's people that really
Oh,
live it
easy
and that
going.
post their lives,
Yeah.
and then there's the people that
Fake it.
do it for the likes.
And they
Yeah.
And
just
like I understand why, but
pose for every
don't pretend
picture.
that like this is your dream and
Because
this is
it's
your
not.
love because it's not. And
Yeah.
it's fine what you do. Go for that, but don't pretend to be something.
There was somebody
Yeah,
that got on a
seriously.
documentary that made it all the way to Netflix. You know,
Sure.
and come to find out, they didn't even build their
Oh,
bus.
and
then they
they're
gave it
such
to
a
somebody, you know, they
sham.
got a
Or
bunch
Oh,
of
they're,
money
yeah,
for
they're
the bus. And
ridiculous.
Go
I
find
mean-
me, and then they stayed
Yeah.
in hotels the whole
Yeah,
fucking
they
time.
they
Did
should
you
be like
hear
the
they
Fire
just
Festival
recently
documentary.
broke up?
what's the Fire Festival?
Well, I love her music though. I really liked her. Singing,
No, I
so.
did too, but
I hated
they
that. Like,
they
the-
broke
That's the
up.
Tom
the
Cruise
stories.
thing.
Yeah, but she's still a person. Like,
She is,
hey, that's
and
cool.
she-
You faked the funk
she
on
used
that.
it
There's
as
no reason to
marketing.
throw hate at that
No, but
person.
she
She
used it as
used a
marketing.
system and she did it well. There's no reason to be mad at her.
They were
I'm not
honestly,
mad
there's
at
no
her.
reason
I
to
love
be.
her music.
They were smart.
I-
Yeah.
they were
No,
very
I was only
smart.
mad because they
Yeah.
screwed everybody on Raft.
I agree.
Bus.
I agree. They
That's
fucked
the- yeah.
all those people because that dude was on their videos.
They
at the
gave it to
beginning
their
of
friend.
YouTube channel.
Yeah.
It was their friend. It wasn't even a
Man.
random.
Gave it to their friend
raffle.
for $5. No,
Because all their
he
friends
entered
did it. Of course he
for
did.
$5,
And of course he won.
and they gave it to him.
See,
That's fucked. I don't
I-
like
Yeah.
that.
kind of don't
I don't like the foe either.
fucking
though.
care.
Exactly. Who
because
cares really? It doesn't
Like,
matter.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm over it.
I
It's
was
only
kind
because
of
it's up in
worried for them when they
conversation.
got into Mexico and like going down like and
With
they
their
were-
dog.
I was kind
Yeah.
of like, oh my god, I'd be really scared. But you see all these snowbirds, they're like going to the board, like, oh, we're going to go on a caravan to Mexico, and it's not bad.
I watched
And
too
I'm
much
like,
Narcos Mexico.
yeah, he's
I'm not
like
doing
all
it.
like, yeah, he's gotten to the cocaine drug lords and stuff.
Listen,
and
man,
like,
I've had adventure in my life.
yeah,
I don't need to
he's-
go
he's
search for
safe.
it anymore.
He's very safe.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Certainly.
I'm usually like, okay, me and the girls are gonna go out to like a swimming hole or something, and he's like, all right, have fun. Like he can't even handle it. He's like, I'm just gonna stay home. I don't want to be there. I don't want to see anything happen. Like y'all go have fun.
But I think it's kind of like part of what bus life is
Sure.
that you become more one with each other,
Sure.
more
Absolutely.
comfortable with your space.
Self-reliant.
Yeah.
This is our safe space
Mhm.
right now.
Yeah.
Even for us, like this little bit is our safe space. You know,
It's
we have another
yours.
safe space close by, but
Yeah,
yeah.
seriously. Rent cost me, $300 a month last year.
Nice.
Ew.
Nice.
That's
Nice.
crazy.
No, well,
$300.
We didn't. Well, I didn't average out like the repair costs because that
Sure.
doesn't happen every year.
Absolutely.
No, yeah.
I just wanted to figure like what is my cost monthly like versus what I used to be paying when I was renting somewhere, and it's nil.
Yeah,
That's nothing.
absolutely.
That's one of
Yeah.
the main questions people ask me would be like, what's the bills like? And it's like, it really just.
If you can get your
depends.
ego out of your way, yeah, it's such an easier way to live.
It
And
really
so
is.
I can't believe there's not more entrepreneurs that are in the bus life just because
Yeah.
Yeah, I
they
know.
are saving so much money so they can bootstrap a business. And that's what Morgan and I are doing right now.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
not why we did this, but it was a
It's kind of
product
a-
of why we,
It's
you know,
growing into that.
well, it's
Yeah.
growing into
Because
that.
we
We didn't
wanted
mean for it to
to.
be like that, but once you are able to save more money and you have more time now to put
Yeah.
towards things that you really
Want
needed to
to
learn,
do.
my newest thing is anything that I used to be nervous about, that's what I want to learn about because that's my weak area. And so we are attacking every single weak area that we've had for so long.
Absolutely.
That's amazing.
And we're starting to realize, oh man, this isn't as hard as what I thought it was. And oh, it's not as scary. It's not as intimidating. And now I'm learning a whole lot more. I have a business degree, but just because you go to school for something doesn't mean you know how to do it.
Hell yeah.
And now I'm actually going out on my
None
own
of
wanting
them
to
are
learn
the
it.
same.
No.
Oh no, absolutely
It's
not.
sustainable
Yeah.
green business solutions management or whatever. I'm like,
I had
have a
crab's
bachelor's in
juice at one
management.
time. I was making
Crab's juice and stuff.
crab's juice and stuff.
He was making
No, but-
go in on the microbes. It's crazy.
Cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was
You know what?
nuts.
What you're really gearing towards, well, I don't know if you're gearing towards it, but what you're really doing right now with trying to find like natural CBD,
Yeah, right.
like that's a fucking big deal.
I feel
It
like
is.
it is. I just
Somebody has to tackle it though.
I feel like it is a big deal. I'm just tired of people fucking lying.
Have you researched to see like if anybody else is doing it?
Doing what?
So there
Like
are
the same
some.
thing that you're trying to
No,
go
they
after?
haven't
There's
done
people that are
any-
doing the research,
They haven't
but
done
they're
any
not.
lab results.
Yeah.
I haven't seen anybody
Okay.
yet post lab results, and that's all public information. So
you have
And there's nobody
you
going
have
out
a
and looking
bunch
for
of
these
that
companies.
right now.
oh, I have a ton. Yeah,
Oh
I've been
my
posting
She has so
every
much
single
that she
day.
hasn't released yet.
Just
I
start
have
an
time.
Instagram.
I do.
She has
She
one.
did.
Oh yeah.
CannaB.A.B.E.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's right. You just did
I've
that the other.
started
Sorry, I've been a
reaching-
little
no, it's
busy
okay.
getting married.
No, you're good.
No, I'm on it.
I've
I'm
been
on
reaching
it.
out to
I'm
like
good.
a lot of other people. They are all about like trying to find good CBD, but they're only like they're ordering the product and they're testing it and saying, oh, this is how I felt with it. Where again, that is like everybody's individual body chemistry. You
Yeah,
cannot
that-
make a review on something that you because it's not everybody has a different endocannabinoid system. Everybody has different C1 C2 receptors that need mending or
Yeah.
nutritional boosting or whatever. So you can't
Yeah,
do
it's
that.
not. It's not. Tacos
It's
are
more
good.
of like
Yeah.
if when you think cannabis, you think pure, you think good, you think healthy, and everybody's like, I'll take 5.
And it's so young
And then-
right now. Don't forget this. You
Yes.
always forget this,
It
and
is
you never
so
speak
young.
about this.
Yeah.
We have a chance right now because the Farm Bill it has made it possible for us to sell this in all 50 states. If somebody starts off just as tries the best that they can to give as pure of a product as they can, why not do that from the ground floor? Because we have seen
Seriously,
some people
why not?
with less than 12% CBD in a CBD product.
It's
So-
awful. It should be 98, 99%. And it's like 12, 13.
Yeah, that's what it's.
What's the other
supposed to be.
80% in that thing?
Yeah.
You know?
Vegetable oil.
So
Yeah.
here's a problem that I have. I give CBD oil to my dogs.
Mhm.
My
Mhm.
dogs
Me
are
too.
16 and 10.
Helps them
They're
a lot, I'm
blind,
sure.
deaf. Yeah, well, does it though?
I might just
Because-
relax them.
Do they lick their paws a lot?
No,
Like
no,
their
they're
wrists.
Okay.
cool. They're easygoing, but
Well, it
I
just means from
believe it.
pain. So if they
Yeah.
did do
Like
that
their
and then you gave them
wrists.
CBD and you noticed they weren't, that means they're not in pain anymore. So
right. But I'm giving it to them to help their pain, to
Yeah,
help their arthritis.
absolutely.
They can't speak. They can't do
They can't
anything.
tell you
So
anything.
anyway, so we go and buy CBD oil, right? That is supposed to be super pure,
Yeah.
right? And we put it in their food and it's great. And then we go to the next dispensary or whatever,
Sure.
and they say, oh no, the CBD oil that you were using was bullshit.
see?
You need to pay $80 for
Smell.
this super amazing
Mhm.
pet CBD oil.
It's
Well,
the
who
same
gives a
thing. One
fucking shit if
flavor
it's chicken
like bacon
flavored?
and one's
Yes.
not. It's literally
Oh,
all the same.
So they say CBD oil is
Right.
not the
It's good.
same. It's all different. Like
Yeah.
you're
But it doesn't have to be. But a lot of people, they're not wanting to do the testing. And so she'll find some
Seriously.
companies that they have, like, they'll show like they've done a test, but there's no
It's
information
empty.
on it. It's
That's
completely
a
empty.
new one, dude.
Yeah.
It has like cannabinoid potency, and then it goes heavy metals, empty.
I think
Terpenes, empty.
I think the last little
It is so
round of
good.
CBD
Mm.
that I bought, it's actually still sitting in the refrigerator because I didn't
Send me a
see.
picture of it because I want to.
It's bullshit. It's just bullshit.
you know what
like,
most
we
of
spent-
But we
Are you
still
talking
want to
about the
give
one
we
that we
still want to
got
give a
from the-
rating on
I
it
still
though.
want to give
From
a
the
rating.
dispensary in California, the high end CBD stuff or the bicycle
No,
monkey?
the other bicycle monkey thing.
Oh.
Yeah, send it to me because people send me all kinds. I have a town.
She gets
in
hit up
Picayune.
daily by
A town we're
numerous
from.
people.
I don't remember who this girl is. We probably maybe went to school. I don't know. But they're opening a CBD shop in Picayune, Mississippi. It's really close to New
Picayune.
Orleans and Gulfport and everything. But anyway,
A Picayune
that
was
is
a coin, right?
Bible Belt. Yeah, I think so. I don't know.
Yeah,
And it's very
lovely.
Baptist. And so I'm
Ooh,
like,
I
whoa,
love
CBD.
Oh, it's
Mississippi.
backwards.
Well,
for
let
sure.
me tell you, I hit him
We
up
went to high school
yesterday to try to get results, or I'm sorry, 4 days ago, and I haven't heard anything. And I'm like, because probably what they're selling shit, they don't know what I'm talking about. Some people are like,
That's what we
call
find
them
out.
And they'll pause and be like, what is that?
That's
a
when we
certificate of
know, hey,
analysis. And you're
every
like,
time it's happened like that, it's never worked out well for that
no.
company.
Or
Like
I have to call
was-
the owner. And
there
he's
was a
the only
reason
one that can
why.
give it to me.
I'm
You know?
yeah,
like
It's weird.
stuff like
the
that. That's
Charlotte's
weird.
Web, like Charlotte's Web, I was paying like.
Did you
50
see that?
bucks
There's
a
nothing that
bottle.
says I emailed her. I'm like, is this a third party lab testing this? And I was like, or is this in house? And she goes, oh, it's third party. And I'm like, but where? And I even drew on this picture.
Yeah,
I'm like,
where
where
is
does
your
it show
results?
though?
Yeah.
Where does it
Oh.
show the lab?
And if you're
even?
testing your own stuff, where's the check and balance to make sure
Exactly.
that you're just not passing yourself?
I love
It's got to
Stanley
come from a
Brothers.
third party lab, so that way
Yes.
this person has no interest or stake or
That's
has no
right.
interest or stake in your
I
business.
think I watched a
and we get
documentary
a
about Stanley Brothers. Like I loved them. The Charlotte's
Yeah.
Web oil, like it's helped so many
And
kids.
it's not-
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
But they
has-
have the money to demand a better quality.
absolutely.
And that's the biggest. I'm sorry, we started talking about that. It's not about that, but
no, we
it-
both
it-
feel passionately
Yeah.
about that.
Yeah.
Like
And-
Somebody's
yeah.
got to step forward and just really start looking into these companies at a ground level. That way,
fuck yeah.
because we've already found the distributor that we want to use,
Yeah.
and so.
Yeah, I'm
But right now
super
we're still working with
interested.
them, and we're
gotta
we're
get
working
the
on our
price
label, and we're doing our business and stuff because we have started little businesses here and there. This is the first time we have as much knowledge as we
Yeah.
have,
It's
and
more
we
about
are making
education.
sure that we are going slow, and we're making sure we're picking our entity correctly. We don't know if we want to do a C Corp, S Corp. We don't know if we want to do an LLC, LP. We don't know what we want to do yet. So we're going through and
That's a
looking
big
at
deal.
each individual
Foundation.
one. So that way maybe is, if we start off on the right foot and we start our business plan to where, we're not constantly bleeding cash to where
Yeah.
we can actually have our cash flow to a positive side. That's what we want to do. We want to make sure we're buying assets, moving it into income,
Well-
not buying liabilities, creating expenses.
Right.
So we're
So
doing
do
all of this from the
direct
very beginning.
marketing.
yeah,
Do it because I would totally sign up underneath you.
really.
We'd be
I
great.
We need to talk to that lawyer. That's one.
We're
thing I
doing
wanna
a
go
network
into.
marketing business,
That's what I
and if
wanna
you don't know what
do.
that is, it's to where exactly what you were just saying that you would like that, but also we got to figure out because we see other companies like, and I'm not going to mention their names, but they do things called brand ambassadors, and
There's a
they
lot of them.
don't get any money off of it. And
Use
it's
free
probably for
product.
smart reason because now they're gonna have to pay payroll taxes, okay? And they're only an LLC. And the more we're learning about individual entities, we're starting to realize why people are setting their businesses up the way they are.
Right.
So we want to do a brand ambassadorship type deal, but we
Eventually,
got to
yeah,
figure out how we
eventually.
can do this legally and possibly a way to put money in other people's pockets, not just free gear. I don't want to give somebody swag. I want to give somebody the opportunity to create something for themselves too and empower themselves. So
Absolutely.
yeah, I don't want to just hot free swag at somebody. It's insulting, I think.
Mhm. It is. It really is. Just so you guys know, if you're not watching us on YouTube live right now, we are swigging some. What is that? What is that liquor we're drinking?
It's a Screwball peanut butter whiskey. It's kind of
That is
a new thing. It's just hit the market here and there. It's really hard to
Snap.
find.
I
And
taste peanut butter in my mouth.
it's
when
a-
I know,
do that.
me too.
it's amazing.
It's
Yeah,
so
it's
good.
like you took a spoonful of peanut butter and just rubbed it all over.
I don't want to have
There-
that wild turkey after that.
There's still like
70
a
proof.
small company.
Tomorrow's stories begin right here.
right here.
Oh.
I love that. Tomorrow's stories begin right here.
I
I
like,
like the
it.
sheep too. It makes me happy.
It makes
It's
me
a
happy.
cool
Yeah.
sheep.
Yeah.
It has like
Little
a
peanut
cool
butter melting
mane.
sheep.
Is it peanut butter?
To the
Okay, I
Misfits,
see it.
Black Sheep, and Screwballs.
Well,
I like that.
kudos to the fucking liquor company
Yeah.
that's not vodka that makes a flavor. Like, hello,
Yes,
thank
that is
you.
good. I'm gonna have some. Thank you. I don't usually drink either. I
Oh,
really like
that's
it.
cool that she's
Seriously.
doing
Yeah,
it.
it is good.
Dude, this is good. I would
It is
think so.
good stuff.
Where did you find this here?
I found it in northern Arizona.
There we go.
Yeah, there you go.
Do we even have anybody on YouTube watching this?
Probably not.
One.
Three.
Hey
Yeah.
guys.
We have one.
Hola.
Hey, thanks for listening.
Hey, thanks for
Thanks for
watching.
hanging out.
Thanks for hanging out.
Cheers.
That's literally
Cheers.
what we're
One
doing.
for
We're just
homie.
hanging out.
We're just hanging out, yeah.
It's
We're the black sheep
nothing,
and
nothing
screwball.
special going on. If you guys want to hang out, here's the spot.
Mhm.
So here's my question that I thought of
Ooh.
earlier, but
You want to tell us?
We didn't
You
really
want
do
the
that.
authenticity of it.
Wait.
yeah.
True authenticity. We are free.
We are free.
That's my quote, by the
Hold
way.
on.
That is
Oh,
his
did I
quote.
die?
You are
It's
free.
a
Because
spinoff
that's
of
what it
John Paul Sauter quote.
Yeah, he redid it.
So what is it?
Hold on,
Should
let
we
me-
make sure it's
Let me
going
switch
through?
batteries real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, you.
But so okay, well hold
How
on.
dare
a
you
minute.
not
can't
come
yet, but-
prepared? Batteries all
Well, I
charged.
did, but
This
it's
is a
died.
professional.
Truthfully,
I did, but it
probably fucked up
died.
the
We had
batteries,
to
taking
charge
a
the
bunch
Yeah,
of
we had to charge our
pictures.
batteries too when they got here.
Well, we take a bunch of. I take a bunch of pictures.
Shame on
That's
you,
good.
sir.
It's
It's
Shame
not
on
good
you.
for anything.
Hey.
FYI,
What do you do?
If
It's right
you
here.
don't have Adobe Photoshop already,
Bleach yours is ready.
If you are homeschooling your son, okay, you can get the create.
Homeschooling?
Yes,
No,
all you have to do is supply a
what?
letter of intent, which it's just
Right.
a dated
So
letter.
Adobe
that
School
says,
like that.
"I'm homeschooling."
They're all about the education of children.
Lovely.
$20 a month, yeah, and so that's why I started with Ryan. I was like, well, we do this. I'm a teacher and she's a student, so
Yeah.
$20 a month, and you get the entire package.
And she is killing it
And the
right now.
illustrator,
She is like
everything.
8 hours just learning
Really?
videos, YouTube, and then going and doing it.
excited about it.
Yeah.
Like
Yes.
she's
Oh, she is so
super
excited.
into
She's
it.
doing it
That's
right now.
awesome.
She
Yeah.
gave me some memes
She's
on
helping her out
TikTok.
with
Yeah,
content
yeah,
right
she's
now.
telling me that.
Yeah.
I was
Layla's been researching how to
ebooks.
turn a cookbook into an ebook.
Yep.
Like we're putting our kids to work. The
Oh
way we
my
look at it
God.
was people used to always put their kids out in the fields to work, right? That's why they had bigger families. Well, hey, we have these kids, and it's like now we're not
The
entrepreneurs.
fields are
Let's get you into
social
that field.
media.
Let's
Sure.
do it.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. I just
It
told her
is.
to have her account go public on Instagram, start posting Adobe Photoshop. I was like, because eventually she'll be able to, maybe she'll be asked to make something for somebody, make some money from home,
Start her on
own
Fiverr.
entrepreneur thing.
Yeah.
going, like
Fiverr.
Mhm.
they were selling
Absolutely.
rocks, at our work camping day.
Yeah.
It broke it.
They sold some.
We made them
paper
set up
rocks.
little mini business
Do you need another
plans. And
battery?
it was cool.
I have another.
No, we're
I'm
good.
excited
Just-
about what this question is, though.
Just go to
Super
sleep.
Messing. with
I'm
it.
sorry.
Oh no,
really
that's
sorry.
okay.
You're good.
I was
This
I
is-
was apologizing
this
for
is
this
It's
one.
not that exciting of a question.
Oh, I thought this isn't the
Same.
I know you're
question.
kind of hyping this up to where now it might be a letdown.
Wait, this isn't the question.
Are you gonna
This
ask
isn't
us to marry
the
you?
question that
is
we
the
wanted
question. Well, I wanted to.
So
you
you
don't
guys
even
are
know
the
what it
first.
is.
You're popping our cherry, and we're popping yours on this one because this is going to be a whole little thing that we're going to do.
Oh, I'm excited. What is
And it's
it?
who knows when it's going to come out, but
Oh,
we're
it's
going to
fun.
interview everybody that we possibly can. So
Oh,
Nice.
yeah.
Smart.
So my question is,
yeah, there's a couple. Sorry.
Oh no, go ahead. That's
Well,
fine. I'm
my
like this
main
reversal.
one is what made you decide to do podcasts rather than YouTube?
That's not the
rather-
question I thought at
No,
all.
no, stop. Rather than YouTube, which is all
It's overplayed.
played.
I feel like I do YouTube.
We
They're
talk all
not-
the time.
they-
That's
yeah,
what we talked
talk
about.
all the time.
And we said, you know what? We've been
About
reading Gary
everything.
Vee's book, Crushing It, that we got from
the Ruth Arts.
Ruth Arts for Adventure. And, you know, he was just talking about content. And her and I, we hang out with each other all day, every day. We are constantly talking, brainstorming different ideas. And I think podcasting was just a
Religion.
natural transition to what we do every single day. And
Just
like,
put a
hey, let's
mic
just
in it.
put a mic in front of us and give ourselves, you know, content that maybe somebody needs. Maybe they don't. I don't know.
I don't
But
know. Maybe
yeah.
people want to listen. But
So-
I do YouTube. I don't edit it like
We're
all
using
these
YouTube
other
right
people
now.
do. You know, I don't put all that. I don't put all the work, and I know maybe that's why we don't have as many followers on YouTube because we don't put as much effort into the editing. But for me, it's just more about getting information out there to
Yeah.
people and inspiring people. So
Sure.
I spread myself on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and I guess the three mains, and then I don't remember the other one on my blog.
Yeah.
And I have about 1,500
Crab's
followers
Homestead.
on each outlet. So I don't feel like I've ever dove into one only. I've kind of equally spread out, but I think at the same time I don't know if that hurt me because I didn't like dive everything into Instagram or everything into Facebook or everything into YouTube. Because you'll go on and you'll look at people and they'll have like 10,000 followers on Facebook, but they have like 900 on Instagram. But for me, I feel like I'm more spread out
Diverse,
evenly.
equally.
But I
Yeah.
don't know it's the same people because a lot of people don't even know we have a YouTube channel, you know. And I've just recently started doing more live videos on Facebook and YouTube.
Yeah.
Just doing daily shit. I was like, I don't want to edit it because once I do, it's going to be work. And I love editing, but I have so much other shit I have to do.
Yep.
Like maybe if I can get my kids to do it, sure. But I don't have enough time in the day. But the podcast, everybody would ask us, like, why do you do a podcast? They're always talking about like on topic shit. We're like, I don't know. I don't think people are ready to hear our opinions. I'm a little I'm a little from the South, and I might not be like politically correct, and you know, I might.
You don't have to
embarrass
be with the
myself.
podcast though, and that's the best part.
And that
Yeah.
was kind of it. It was more like this was the branch of our social media that extended to us being ourselves,
Yep.
talking about whatever we wanted to talk about, and if people really wanted to get to know us and know who we are, this is how you do it. You know, and I think that was kind of.
We don't ever go into these things of how many followers can we get. We just say,
Right.
let's
We're
do
gonna
this
put
for
stuff out
us.
there.
We do
Yeah.
this for us. And like we said, I mean, I think it's great that we have one person even watching this.
I
I mean,
know.
honestly, I think that's great.
Yeah,
I don't care
me
if it's
too.
1 million people. Like, just that one is cool. So,
Well, yeah, and being real and doing what you want to do, and
It'll
Yes.
come if
That's-
it needs to.
yeah.
throughout.
I mean, if people are
Yeah.
interested in that, they're gonna watch it. If not, you're doing it for yourself, and that's the whole damn
I
point
don't
in
know
the
how many
first place.
times I've
Yeah.
gone to my Instagram feed to see what kind of oil we used in the bus. It's literally me documenting this so
It's a
we
journal.
remember how to do it. Like
Yeah,
when I was looking
sure.
at how did I build that refrigerator box because something was going on. I went back and looked at my pictures and I'm like, oh shit, that's right. We did this and we had this glued and we just had to staple it here. So I was actually able to go and break down. So it was more of like a journal for me more than anything.
And we've used it
And we've
often.
used it. I'm like, oh shit, let me go on
Oh, yeah.
Instagram. I know I got a picture of it on here somewhere.
So here's the thing.
And it's fun.
And
I
it's
just-
fun.
And it's a lot of fun,
Yeah,
honestly.
I just
Are
think
Are you guys having a good time?
Yeah, of
Yeah,
course.
It's freaking
Gives
awesome,
us a
right?
reason to like
Yeah,
be
it's
with
fun.
people too, because we kind of separate ourselves a lot from like bus world and bus life, like as far as Skoolie paloozas and stuff.
I'm not interested in making friends and, you know, like seriously
Why?
getting a part of a group. I'm honestly, like I said in my very first podcast, you impress me. You know, if somebody impresses me,
I want to
cool.
talk to you.
I want to talk to you. If you don't impress me,
I don't
Oh,
have
again,
any
I don't have
shit.
any more. I lived through my 20s.
Yeah.
You know, I don't need to
Sure.
just have a bunch
Well-
of friends. I need quality people now.
People
I
can
want
learn
people
from.
I can ask business questions to.
Yes.
Sure.
I don't want to just sit there and talk about whatever
Yeah.
was on TV yesterday, you know, because I do watch TV, but I also read a lot as well. And if I have different business professionals that I can contact or ask questions, to me, that's more impactful than just meeting another person that did something similar to me and just wants to bullshit. Like I'm at the time in my life, I'm not here to bullshit with anybody
Yeah,
anymore.
but you know
I'm here
what-
to get some work done. So
You know what we found with that, and I
Yeah.
completely respect that. That's I
Yeah.
fully understand it. What we found with it is that, you know, especially this year in its third year of Skoolie Palooza,
Mhm.
there were 114 buses there, and that's
Yeah.
not
That's
including vans and campers
that's
and
great.
everything else. You end up gravitating to those people anyway.
Sure.
I
Sure.
bet.
Yeah,
I know
so
we
I
would
mean-
get along,
During the day,
but I just
everybody's
don't want
doing
to BS
tours
with
and stuff,
anybody,
but
you know?
well, and
No,
it turns into
there's-
much
there's
more than
half and
BS.
half.
You end up in
half and half.
there's people that are just hanging out bullshitting.
Yeah.
Sure,
And then
absolutely.
there's people that are doing the same thing that we're doing right now.
Absolutely.
And
yeah.
that's really
And
the
that's
I'm
part
not
what
I
I
saying that's
love
not.
about
Please don't.
Yeah.
I hopefully
Yeah.
never said that.
No,
that
no,
is
I
what
don't-
people are doing. I just
No, I
said
just
if
wanted to
I'm
clarify.
going to
Yeah.
do something like it's got to be something bigger than
No,
just
this
to
is
sit
super
around and talk
authentic,
about
which
something.
is
you
why
know?
I asked the question.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's super authentic. Why are you doing, a podcast
Yeah.
instead of a vlog
Yeah.
or whatever?
Yeah.
I think we answered that though, didn't we?
No,
You gotta talk it.
you
Yeah.
totally did. But I think that at some point the YouTube market is going to be so fucking saturated
Yes.
with all of this bullshit
Yeah.
that you're actually going to crave like a normal
Originality.
conversation,
Yeah.
like what we're having right now.
Yeah, we have
Why
them
do
all the
other
time.
People think, and I think that's a lot of like people can say one thing on social media and say, "Oh, we do this, we live this,"
what?
and it's like you kind of really get his directness, his personality that I think a lot of people don't get through pictures, and I'm like, "Oh, it's intense."
Absolutely.
And
Oh
people
yeah.
don't
Absolutely.
really get like I think
I guess
I
I'm
think
just
that's
done
what I like
bullshitting
about
with
it.
people. Like I'm ready to
Yeah.
build
No.
and create.
Yeah.
I'm not here
Yeah.
to bullshit with anybody
Yeah.
anymore. And 99% of people just want to bullshit. They don't really want to
Right.
create and
do anything.
I want to do more. Like, how do I serve more people? How can I be a better benefit for more people?
Right.
I don't want to
better
just
way
sit
put it.
and bullshit with people.
You wanna
You know what I
solve
mean? Like,
something and
let's
do
create something. Let's do something.
Let's talk about something substantial.
Exactly,
Like,
right.
hi,
Yeah, not
we-
about somebody. Exactly.
Right,
Yep.
right. The
best
Exactly.
way to put
And
it,
that's
it
what a
was
lot of
great.
that ends up turning into.
Sure.
You
And
know?
we started
Absolutely.
talking about people. And I think whenever we went to our first Skoolie meetup, it was like a bring your own bus build.
Oh, it was awesome.
It
We had a
was-
blast.
You know, because it was that way, everybody kind of gravitated to their own groups, you know,
Mhm.
and Ryan and Terry got fucked up on Crown
Ooh,
Royal.
we each had a bottle of
Absolutely
Crown
hilarious.
Royal. I had a whole
It was
what is it,
fun.
Frank the Tank moment where
He
I was
tackled
charging
chairs.
through lawn chairs
was-
and like they're just attaching to my leg to where
Oh my
eventually
God.
I'm falling flat on my face.
It was.
I
it
love
was-
those things. I
it
mean,
was
seriously,
fun.
I work hard. I promise you, I play
plays
way
really hard.
harder than I ever work because like
He did.
that's what I truly believe. If you're gonna work hard, play your fucking ass off. That's the
Yeah.
whole point of working
And
hard,
we had
though,
just
right?
finished
Yeah.
the build, and
Yes.
Yeah.
we had been at my parents for about 3 months, and we were ready to be like, God, we're like we craved being around like-minded people. We
Absolutely.
like wanted to
Absolutely.
be, and Skoolie Palooza probably would have been a little overwhelming just because of all the people. We do better in smaller groups, and I think that when we got to be around those people and we got to help other people spend money and help other people's problems, it was such a relief to get to use our skills to help others. In fact, we had just left East Texas. We built a walk-in freezer for this man.
A
who owned
restaurant.
A restaurant.
Yeah.
He needed a place to put his crawfish, and he had this like cement patio. And we met him. We went and ate at his restaurant, and we just were like, "Hey, we wanted to tell you the food was great." And he's like, sat down, and he's like, "I was a bull rider, and I was in jail. I was a
Yeah,
felon."
great story,
Just an
man.
amazing
Yeah.
story, old country boy.
Hell
and
yeah.
he was like, "Hey, you know what? Would you, I have this project, if you guys wanted to do it, and I'll pay you." We're like, "You know what? You don't pay us." Like, but he's like, "Well, let me feed you while you're here." We're like, "Fuck yeah."
Yep.
Yeah.
Everything we wanted.
It
Yeah.
was
Absolutely.
like it was like South Texas, South Louisiana.
But it was
seafood.
cool
It
just
was
doing
great.
something for that guy.
And we didn't have
it
directions.
was we got to
it was recycled parts from
Yes.
this freezer.
there were
I've
no
never
direct. It was not a
built.
kit.
We had
It
to
was
cut a
literally
hole and put
scraps.
AC in.
Make it work.
It was like this. We had to run electric. It was everything we did in the bus, like in a super small scale. It took us like a week, and we had all the tools still. So I mean, it was fun. It was a lot.
Yeah.
Of fun. I didn't post that. I didn't put that online. But
You
we
should.
would do a lot of little things like that
Oh,
for
shit,
people.
free
just
food's
to-
You should put that
Yeah,
online.
I
Yeah,
should.
it was just-
You
I
should.
really should.
He was
You
just a
should.
fun
That's-
guy to
that's
like hang out,
what-
drink a beer with,
Kinda
and I got
That's
to
what
learn more
I'm
about the
interested-
restaurant business. So
I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
You should put that online.
Yeah.
That's what we're interested
That's
in.
cool. You caught that.
I think it is, and you're right. And I think in the beginning, we were kind of OPSEC, very operational security, because of his military experience. It's like nobody needs to know where we're at. Of course, because you.
I
also
didn't need it
have
in real
kids.
time, and nobody does need this in real
No,
time.
he
It's
wanted me
just
to, like,
the
link
way
those,
people have gotten themselves trained to be. Well, I got to have it real time. Like you don't
Yeah.
have to let seriously anybody
Oh,
know, and it's
seriously.
ridiculous to let anybody know where
Exactly
you are
where you
in
are.
real time
You ever
at
write
all
anybody
time.
a letter? You know?
Yeah, exactly.
Try it
And
sometime.
I have
Sure,
started doing
sure.
that. Like I have started doing more live videos for the content. So I understand why people do it. But in the beginning, we were very quiet about everything because we had a year and a half every day. I mean, you guys probably know. He's retired. I wasn't working. It was the bus. We lived, breathed, everything the bus.
Yeah,
Up
we hustled.
day and night. And it was a year and a half. And we partied really hard, but we never
Well, we
took a day
partied really
off.
hard.
We took a day off at Christmas. We took some time off to go see my parents and stuff, and maybe 3 days. But we thought we should have taken more breaks. We were arguing every day, emotionally, physically, fucking exhausted. And I thought, I will
Same
never
us.
build another bus.
I had a great time.
If you
though.
can make it
Yes.
through,
I had a
bus
great
bill,
time.
That's what I
You can
say.
make it through anything.
I'm like,
Fact.
man, you really
Fact.
can.
There's a
You're
lot of
the shit.
relationships that have split
That
trying to
ended
do
Oh
one of
yeah.
these.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
And it's a
You
good
see
thing
it.
at the end of the day.
I
Sure,
agree.
absolutely.
If you can't
They
make
weren't a
it,
good
You
fit.
feel bad for him,
Right.
but man,
Yeah.
you would have figured it out the hard way.
But you know
soon
what? At
enough.
least it found out sooner than later, though.
The
Absolutely.
shit part is
Yeah.
You mind if I kill the rest of this?
No,
No.
knock yourself out. We
Alright,
saved
guys.
that so we could share it
Thank
with you
you,
guys.
I'm
guys.
so glad you did,
Otherwise, I
by
would
the way.
have killed it.
I love it.
You
shit-
might be able to find it around here somewhere. Like
I'm
a
gonna
liquor
look.
store,
I'm
request it.
seriously gonna
They can
look.
get it in. It's a new company, and they're going to be on every shelf here soon.
I'm gonna
Really?
look.
I like it.
the
Yeah.
shit part is to me is
I'm going to hit this until you
you
stop.
go through this whole growth and expansion
push
as
it.
a couple as
You
a
have to hold the button.
What button?
There's
Oh,
a
shit.
button. Yeah, you
None of
have to-
mine have a button on the
That's
little ones.
weird.
You're
No,
so-
you were right.
You should have just
so
let him keep
cute.
doing it.
Yeah, right?
How long would it take us
This
for to
is
figure it out?
sucks.
No, we just you
This
push
is
it.
bullshit.
You have to. Oh, you have to push it
Wow.
while you suck it.
Is that what this? I heard that like right above.
push and
Huh.
suck. Push and suck.
Push and
This
suck.
is. I'm not used to that.
And you're on film pushing and sucking right now.
You were saying about couples.
Sorry, Mom.
So the shit part is for us is that we went through like these trials and tribulations,
Sure.
right?
Absolutely.
Building a bus, fucking fixing said bus that we thought we were so clever in buying, and now we live in the same bus, and it's
We
It's
didn't live in
cool.
separate buses before.
it's cool.
It's
It's cool. No, it's cool. Like we like adventuring, but we find that we're pretty much gravitating to the same two places, and we are fucking craving a new bullshit venture.
Yeah, I want to. So we were in Bisbee.
Like sailboats.
A float.
Oh, we
you
have
know?
looked at the
I want to do a
sailboat thing
float
too.
house.
Fuck,
I
are
want
we
a
addicted?
float house.
That would be cool.
We're
That would
totally
be cool.
addicted.
Dude, that
It
sailboat
sucks.
in Louisiana, they're badass.
Yeah, they're
they rise with
incredible.
the floods, man.
Yeah, people in
Seriously.
Alaska.
People in Alaska would do it too.
Like
Yeah.
we're wandering around Bisbee. I don't know how much time you guys have spent there.
Just a couple of days.
Oh,
Yeah, not much.
endless stairs. Everywhere takes you somewhere different.
Yeah.
It's
Oh.
you're
That
like,
is true.
where the fuck did
You
this?
can
street
get
come
lost
from?
in that little
Oh,
city.
yeah.
It has a lot of cut throughs,
Yeah.
cut offs, and now if you were on
So
Bourbon Street, I
crazy.
wouldn't recommend you going to all these.
No,
But
yeah.
in Bisbee, yeah, it's kind of fun.
Yeah,
and
take
there's
the
different
sidewalk.
shops.
Yeah.
That's the cool thing. Just
Yeah.
another haberdashery
Or
or something
like, or
eclectic and
different
unique.
art. Like
Yeah.
They had a
you can
lot
just
of art.
walk along and just see
See
like
art.
a different kind of art. Like we walked on a street that had like a toilet. Right, that's not fancy, but the art around the toilet was
Where are you going with this?
incredible.
I don't even know.
This is going in the shitter real quick.
No pun intended.
No, but we were there's Castle Rock, right, which is right in the middle of town.
Okay.
This huge rock sticking up, and we walked the 180 some stairs
Oh shit.
to get up there, and then you still have to keep walking. It's just not stairs. So we climb up there, and just to realize there's a road that we could have driven up there, but regardless, we had fun.
Yeah.
And so we decided to take the road back down instead of taking the stairs. We end up in this back neighborhood with like these huge, like this big
Ponds.
rock pond area and huge
Ponds with
koi
koi
fish
Nice.
and all these
nice.
sculptures.
like you didn't even expect that.
No.
No,
hell
I expected
no.
like a back alley road.
You would
Yeah.
And then we
expect that
find-
shots
And then I
down.
think I'm walking into, I'm like, how do we get down? So let's just keep heading down, right?
Yeah.
And I
Right.
think
We're,
I'm
like,
walking into like
peeking
someone's
over the
driveway.
edge, taking pictures because it's
Yeah.
so amazing.
I think we're walking into like someone's driveway parking spot. No, there's stairs that like keep going.
Oh,
Yeah.
shit.
And so we
Yeah.
go that way. And
Yeah.
what do we find? An abandoned hotel that was built in 1908
Oh wow.
that is for sale for a ridiculous amount of money cheap.
Let's just say
What?
it's $170,000.
That's
How
it.
much a little house?
Yeah.
Oh,
No,
that's
195,
crazy.
but he'll take.
$1,000.
What's wrong with it? Like, is there something
Well, it's
wrong?
old. It
Oh,
needs to
it's
be
average.
redone.
Fucked
Like,
up.
but
No,
it's not
It's fucked up.
terrible.
Would it be like a historical thing, like where you could
Absolutely,
go through the state?
girl.
Okay,
What's the
good.
name of
Yeah,
this
So,
okay.
place,
you,
by the way?
you can get
Not telling you.
grants.
No, will you tell me later?
No, you can get grants. You can get tax
Yes,
breaks.
okay.
You can
Our
get
friends
all
do
that
that.
shit
Yes.
because it's 1908. So if you restore it to a certain condition,
Yeah.
Yeah.
As long as you
yeah.
maintain historic,
What's
good,
crazy?
you know, rendition,
That's right.
rendering.
Rendering.
Yeah, there's a
Yeah.
lot of grants and
That's
things
right.
that you can get.
What-
So
Right.
What's
Absolutely.
crazy is
So-
this place is dead
I've been
smack
reading
in the
about this, by
middle
the
of
way.
town.
Yeah.
yes.
Dead smack in the middle of town. And
real
you-
estate's
you
kind of something
don't
we're trying to
even
get into
notice
right
it's
now.
there.
So
Yeah. Oh heck yeah.
yeah.
So
We'll
it's like
get
right
into
in
that.
the
Well,
bed and breakfast.
well, maybe
You
get
could do
into
so
it.
many different things.
I would
with
like
it.
to
It's
just go and
ridiculous.
look at it. You know,
Yeah.
maybe
What do you guys
just see
doing
what it
tomorrow?
is. So I know I would be able to look at this building and kind of get some kind of idea of what we would have to do with
So
it. So
here's the thing. We looked at it with the intention that we can afford to buy it.
nice.
Once we got in, we were like, oh,
Right.
we don't have the money that it takes to restore it.
Yeah.
Maybe piece by piece we could, right? Ah, man.
Man.
it-
But the
it
problem is
doesn't-
there's so many spaces like that in
Well, and
Bisbee
it-
that
in
you
the
just-
really
Oh, and there's
are.
opportunities
It is
everywhere
sites.
outside of Bisbee, even.
Oh,
Yeah.
we just love
Absolutely.
it.
Once you see one
Yeah, it's a beautiful
opportunity,
place.
you train your mind to see more
Over
over and
and
over and
over
over. And it
and
costs you
over and
nothing to
over
go
again.
shopping,
Have you
by the
ever been
way.
addicted?
So
It's
No.
a problem.
No, so we called the real estate agent. We went and toured the property. We went inside. It was
The owner used to own the Hotel California.
Oh,
The
how cool!
stove.
Oh, no way.
Stove
The Eagle
that
song?
is inside,
Nice.
right? The like old wood burning
1902.
old wood burning stove. Like this
Wow.
thing is
No
like
way. That's
bigger
big
than this
cooktop,
living room.
Oven
Like
drawers,
you need
top
like
burner,
a crane
everything.
to get
Come
this
on.
bitch
But
out.
wood.
Even that,
Wood burning,
like,
yeah.
oh, it just incites all of this
We thought
ridiculous.
there was a huge hole in the ceiling. Like it looks like the kitchen has just like caved in.
Oh shit!
Because
Nope.
it's like 30-foot ceiling.
No, but it hasn't.
And then
caved
we
in.
walk around
It
the
looks
back and we
like
get
it.
up top. No, it's a big ass skylight.
Oh hell yeah! There was an art place online the
Nice.
other day that had one of those huge, beautiful skylight. And I'm
Yeah.
like, this is perfect because it isn't kind of like a valley of a mountain, you know. So I think and then they have tons of trees, which is amazing. It looks like Georgia kind of to me, like in some of the spots where it's rocky and have all these like leaves everywhere. It's just beautiful. I love it.
But like full circle though, you build a bus and you think you can't make it through.
Yeah.
You can't possibly make it through. And then you do to the other side. And you're like, oh, this is the pinnacle. This is everything we dreamed of.
Right.
But I think there's a small part of you that says, fuck,
What else
What
can
are
you
we
do?
building
What are we
next?
doing
Yeah.
next?
Yeah. I
Yeah.
agree.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
What's
Because
gonna
you're
happen
hungry for
next?
more,
Yeah.
and you've seen
More
that.
and more.
Holy shit! I didn't know how to do any of this, and look what I created.
Yeah.
Not
And you
only-
start to
Absolutely.
Not
learn
only
that,
that.
literally anything you want to do, you can do. Just
Oh,
put your
yeah.
blinders on and
Wanted to
kind of
make
goes
it
more
get
into what
out
I'm
there.
saying. Like I'm not into BS conversation. Like I'm just ready to do something better with my time than just bullshit. And people that wanted bullshit, cool, nothing wrong with
Oh,
it.
this is bullshitting. It's fun.
It is
Yeah.
fun. Yeah.
But I'm learning something right
Yeah,
now too.
Not
I've
just-
learned a
not
lot
just
from you
that.
guys.
But really?
Yeah, absolutely. That's why we had you on. We wanted all this, the bus
Well,
work
thank
that you
you.
guys do. Like
If
the
my bus
problem
ever breaks
solving
down,
you've
you're the
done.
first person I call.
Fuck
I'll
yeah.
answer.
You're a connection.
You are the subject matter
that I
expert
want
now
my
in the
life.
Skoolie community,
You
by the
know,
way.
like
That's a
there's
lot
a
of
lot
pressure.
of people.
Yep.
There's a lot of people
Suck
in
it
the
up.
Skoolie community that I particularly I'm like I want to know that person because we could figure something
You've
out. I
gone
can
through a
learn
struggle,
something from
you
them.
know?
Yeah, like they know they have the balls to get through this because it takes balls. Is all this project? It was like, how did you do that? It takes balls to do something totally different.
Seriously, I need a wheelbarrow for him sometime.
Yeah, really. I know.
No, really. He needs a wheelbarrow.
Yeah.
That sounds terrible.
No,
The saggy
no,
hanging
in
low.
the best, in the best possible way. Love. I love your
She
balls.
makes it balls
We're
of
good.
steel, right? Just
Yes.
'cause they're
That
so
was a
heavy.
subject change. Like,
Yeah.
whoop.
So was there
You were
another
saying
question
something. He was
had?
saying something.
Oh, there were so many questions. I forgot what I was saying though. That's oh no.
mine-
What I was getting at
Oh.
is that not just that we did this, and so
Right.
we know everything about it, and we know that we can conquer, and so we
Yeah.
crave more.
Absolutely.
It's not just that; it's that we took this thing that used to be something completely different
Right.
and
Right.
turned it into what we want.
Yeah.
And so I've always had that mentality,
Mhm.
and you know, I felt that I was like the only person that kind of felt that way about things. But like you see something, and you're like, not just what it is, but what could it be?
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
It's meant to be a hotel,
Right.
but what if it was a huge fucking grow room with a gloss shop downstairs?
It's called context, by
You know,
the way.
like who
It's
knows?
not what you have, it's how you use it.
There's only
Yeah.
one
So-
dispensary in Bisbee, by the way, and they're really.
Well, we're talking like
pricey.
once it's legal or something, we
Yeah,
might get
sure.
into it. But
Well, no, I just mean
Well-
like it just kind of sucks because there's even only one dispensary here in Sierra Vista, and they have a monopoly.
Let me tell you.
Oh, Arizona
The
is horrible.
It's
first
25
thing,
miles.
The first thing that I saw at that hotel, which is a rough draft of what it should be, was it should be a grow room upstairs, dispensary downstairs.
a
Yeah.
grow B&B.
Like,
That would be cool.
100%. There's nothing else around it.
Yeah.
And just because it fits
Now,
in
when you
Bisbee-
say
perfect
grow
there.
room, are you meaning marijuana?
Yes.
Because when you said grow room, what I can see better in Bisbee is yes, a grow room, but microgreens and different
Oh,
greens.
yeah,
You have so
sure.
many restaurants, like in just
Oh
the
yeah.
five
Absolutely.
square,
Have you been to
two
Road Chronicles?
square
Absolutely.
miles around you.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
there was a lot of money in just honestly lettuce, basil, things like that.
Well, see, I
Tomatoes.
was still picturing a hotel. It used to be a 25-room hotel.
Oh,
Right now,
okay.
it'd be like an amazing 15-room boutique.
Oh wow.
you know,
Oh, okay.
And it's right there. Like you
Just
could light it
everywhere.
up and everybody would see it.
And it's
Yeah.
damn Bisbee. Like
Yeah.
Bisbee already attracts like quirky people,
Yeah.
a ton of tourists.
And you said there's this
It's definitely all
comedy
original.
club coming in, and
Yeah.
Everyone that we met was not.
Fantastic,
Yeah, they were
We got sponsored by the
fantastic.
city.
Yeah.
No, we should be though. For God's
Right.
sakes.
That's funny. Hashtag Bisbee for fun.
Yeah, we saw
No,
that
it's
on
already a
everything.
hashtag.
Yeah,
It's
Bisbee,
already
that's what she's
hashtag,
saying.
no.
That's what I said, yeah.
that's great.
I did
We'll
it.
tag this.
Bisbee
hashtag
for
Bisbee
legalization. Seriously,
Uh,
should be.
We had a guy.
Might as well be there.
Jay. He worked at our tree lot. He was I guess senior in high school.
Just a guy. You just say a
He
guy.
was a sweet kid. He would go to Bisbee and he would find rocks and different kinds of minerals, and they had like all this rock tumbling equipment in his garage, and he would tumble these beautiful rocks.
Yeah.
Then he would buy
they were
these
cool.
pyrite mini miners and
Characters.
railroad tracks
Oh, like mount them on top and
Yes,
sell 'em?
it was a
Yes.
little mining scenes, little dudes having a shootout over gold. I mean,
There's one
it
of
was
those.
amazing. 12
there's-
bucks.
There's literally one of those on our refrigerator right now. It's a miner.
Is it really? He
In-
makes those. He
Yeah.
sold them at our lot. We're like, come on, come sell them. And he's
Oh,
like,
it's so cool.
"Really?" We're like, yeah, man, come on.
He was so blown
If you
away
get-
that I didn't want to take a piece of his
yeah, we're like,
business.
"We're not gonna take
And I'm
your
like,
money."
what are you talking about? Like, you are still
You
in
just-
high school. I want to help you.
Seriously.
And I bought him that Rich Dad Poor Dad book.
Yeah,
So,
he's-
and I was like, man, read this. Like, this guy is already
Dude,
trying to
yeah.
figure something out. He's
Yeah.
already finding ways to make money. And why am I going to want to take a piece of his action? Like, I want to help
Right.
foster that. I want to help grow that for that, that kid.
Absolutely.
We're not
Yeah.
we're his first bosses, and we were like, it's not going to be like this.
Oh,
everywhere
his parents
else,
told him all the
you know,
time, you
because-
will never find a boss that cool again.
But we
They
wanted
were
to give him
cool.
a good impression, at least to know like your boss doesn't always have to be a dick.
Yep.
You know?
Yep.
No,
Seriously.
if your boss is a dick, you're doing the wrong thing.
Exactly. There's no reason for that. I mean, I'm sorry, we kind of got off subject.
I don't even know where we're at, so but where we're supposed to
It
be at.
happens.
Did you finish your story even
Which story?
with your bus and all the?
The problem.
Yeah, we.
Yeah, I
we-
think so. I just kind of wrapped it up quick. so
I know. I
didn't
see.
wanna
That's
eat
what I
up.
thought. I thought you did
Yeah.
kind of wrap it up pretty quick, but when you were telling me the story,
Oh,
you had talked about every time you had
let's
to
keep in
drain your
mind,
oils and
this-
fill it back up.
Yeah, this went on for 3.5 months.
Yeah.
Oh,
Jesus.
How much money do
You
think
don't-
spend on that? if
you
you
don't
mind
wanna-
me asking?
Well, we kind of have this unsaid rule that we don't add up receipts
I agree.
ever.
We
We
didn't
didn't
do that
add
on
up
the
our
bus
bill.
either. That's
She kind of
fair.
roughly did it once, and I
We
was
did.
like, somehow she's like, mm-mm.
Don't show me again.
I'm not telling you.
Roughly, I think it was.
Nah,
See, I knew somebody would know. There's no way.
Roughly, I think it was about
Please whisper it.
$30,000
I don't even wanna
for the
know.
bus plus the solar system, though.
Oh, God.
Take $7,000 away for the solar
Solar's
system.
about 10 grand for us.
Yeah.
Oh, you meant not just for that, those
engine.
fixes, the engine.
He
No,
she meant the bus
no.
build.
You
Oh
meant the
well,
whole
I
thing.
can
I
get
got
into
you.
that.
Okay.
So
I'll go
the-
over that. Yeah.
The original receipt from when we did the
Do we have
injector
to?
O-rings and the
Oh.
H-pop, and we paid someone to do it, was like
Oh, we have people asking
about
questions.
$6,000, right?
6 grand.
Sorry, we're
6 grand.
ignoring you.
That's not too bad.
Let me see.
You're fucking high.
But
Hold
that
on.
was
No,
before we
all-
ever left the state,
No,
man.
no.
Wait, no, I'm saying
that's
all
a
the
fucking lot.
things that you changed out.
No,
I
no,
paid
no,
$3,200
no,
just for
no,
my injectors
no,
alone.
stop,
No,
So if
stop.
you only spent
No,
$6,000,
this
that's
No,
is-
that
great.
was before we left on our first trip.
Yeah,
Yeah, she was talking
Oh,
about
always
when you
sharing
guys
and
were
following.
gone.
Good.
Yeah,
Glad you guys are
everything
following.
yeah,
Thank
yeah.
you.
Everything.
Everything
from-
all together.
Not your
I don't
bus,
think I-
just with the
Right, but the repairs
the
total,
repairs that you
I don't
had
think
to
I've
make.
added them.
No, you don't have to at all.
No.
No.
I
Oh,
would
thanks,
say-
Stockmans. We appreciate it. So the Stockmans are saying there, they said we traveled to Oregon coast for 2 years, then came back home. We'll be working on our land to come home to, and then hitting the road. You guys keep motivating.
Heck yeah.
Nice.
Oh, and Chris Steer jumped on. Have a question
What
for
up,
them.
Chris?
About him.
He said, I have a question for them about how they funded the broke down. Was it cards or cash, if you don't mind? Hey, Chuck.
Savings. from
What's up,
the
savings.
road.
Savings. I'm lucky enough that I'm one of the few people that I get to work online.
Yeah,
But
nice.
it
I
was
took my old
savings.
job and was able to move online, and
Beautiful.
I was able to
Hey,
able
Chris
to
Steer.
put some
Those are both
money
good
aside.
names.
Yeah.
Yeah.
right.
Either way.
I'm working on
Yeah,
that.
this is your story. You get to
know
tell it
that?
however you want to. Yeah.
So we were able to pay cash out of savings.
Very
and
nice.
It
Nice,
tapped us, like no lie.
Sure,
It
sure,
took,
sure.
it
I
took
bet.
all there was
It took
pretty much.
all
But
of it. It took all of
we
it.
were able to work it out. So just the Idaho part.
Way to go to have that nest egg though to dump
lot of
into
people
and
don't
not
do
have
that.
to throw it all
Well,
on
Well, I'm not
farms.
gonna lie. Part of
Fucking
that was
shit,
tax
you
money.
have to.
Oh
Like
shit,
stuff
whatever,
that
yeah.
money that I had set aside that
It's your
I
money.
needed to pay taxes.
Yep.
But do I pay taxes or do I try
gotta pay
and
yourself
defer and
first,
like
yeah.
do you let your house just go away? Like,
Yeah, no, you need a place to live first. That's for sure.
Yeah.
You know.
the Idaho part of it, 1,800 for injectors.
Yeah.
I know that for sure.
Yeah, it pissed me off when you told me you paid half.
Like
But I went
20
straight to international.
Yeah,
So
I
Like
did my
20,
research and
30
luckily they
bucks.
saved our life.
Like $20-$30 for some of the sensors though. Like it was no big deal.
Yeah,
It was,
if you do your shopping
like
right,
20 and 30.
intense.
Sure.
That nickels and dimes start to add up though.
but it was
you guys know
intense.
I'm
yeah,
building
if you're
your
buying
bus.
that from international, like you buy a sensor, it's like $200-$300.
Oh,
Yes.
easy.
And I'm finding
easy.
it for $20-$30
Absolutely.
online.
Yeah.
You just have
Yeah.
to make sure and cross-reference your number so that you know you're
We
getting
didn't have
the
Yeah.
right one.
time.
Just
Yep.
because it looks the same does not mean it's the same.
I bet.
You know.
Yeah, you were telling me they sent you the wrong
Yeah, we
injectors
did.
the
got
first
the
time.
wrong
Dang.
injectors the first time.
Two
and
times.
Luckily,
2 times.
2 times.
No, we had the first injector. We had the first injectors that were inaccurate, which was before we even left the state of Arizona.
Yeah, but
They
we
were
didn't know
wrong.
that. They just did injector
Oh,
overs.
Yeah, so of course they're gonna blow out a year later because they're the
not
wrong injectors.
Yeah, they're
Yeah,
not right.
absolutely.
So
Yeah, true.
they
So
did-
they say that, like, if I look up my bus with my year
Yeah.
or even my VIN number, it says these injectors from 99 or 2000, depending on where you research, to 03.
Mhm.
Not the case. It's off of build number of the actual motor.
Okay.
So ours
Oh.
was an early build number, and it turned out it was a whole different set of injectors.
Oops.
Luckily, the company that I got it from, DPA, she knew what she was talking about, and she's like, "No, you can't just order these injectors." Now, granted, they sent the wrong ones out the first time, but they corrected it immediately and got it back to us.
So they were at least good customer service. No,
Oh,
you dump that out.
amazing.
I'm gonna get a little bit of tequila.
Amazing. They're
Just a
Oh
little,
my
'cause I don't
god,
want that
it's gonna be
wild
that
turkey.
kind of night.
Not a
hold
lot.
on tight.
El Yimador. Or is that Yem?
El
Yimador?
Jimador.
El Yimador.
El
Y'all
Jimador.
ever have Tito's vodka?
Tito's?
I have
I know a dude named Tito. He used to
It's-
jack cars.
the gluten free one, right?
I'm not sure. And they're out
He
of
was not
Austin,
an
and
associate.
it kind of got really big. It made it in the show Billions, which was kind of cool.
Oh.
I like that. That's a cool show. But anyway, so that's good at least that you got somewhere where at least they gave you good customer service and they're like, "Oh, we fucked up. We'll give it." But although, I mean, I don't know if it broke anything else on your bus because of that. Do you think that caused any future problems that y'all dealt with?
Not that time, but having the incorrect injectors in it previously definitely did. That's why it was
Thank you.
blowing through.
You're
O-rings.
welcome.
Yeah.
And that's why the high pressure oil pump probably wore out a little bit prematurely.
Okay.
I mean, it would have gone out anyway. I mean, they're all parts they wear.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it definitely caused some issues because of pressure problems and lacking pressure here and too
Yeah.
much pressure here. So it wore on things more than it should have, which caused us to have
Break a bolt. and-
7 different issues to fix one no start problem.
That's
You know,
Something just
he's-
fell, right?
It was that gyrate. That
Okay.
one always
super-
fucking
Just
falls.
making sure I didn't.
We might have brought a ghost with us from Bisbee. It's a
No.
possibility. Weird shit's been happening.
I
Bisbee
heard
looks
Sage
like it-
in here earlier, so I think we're cool.
Bisbee
prefer
looks like it
Palo
would have some
Santo.
cool
I
ghosts.
have Palo
stories.
Santo.
We
I
were gonna
just
bring
did.
you some and I forgot.
Oh my god, thank you! I
We
found
love
some
it
at
so
the
much.
at the store we went to in Bisbee yesterday, and I got some juniper.
Yay!
And I actually just burned Palo Santo yesterday.
Oh, it's
We,
good.
Ooh.
we bought a bunch in quarts.
I can't wait to try your ceviche, by the way. You said it's spicy?
No, it's only
no.
as spicy as you make it.
Oh, okay,
Well,
good.
I mean, we
knows?
could try, but we
Actually-
could
I
crush
like
it.
it. Muy caliente.
I hope we're not
Everyone
neglecting
here is-
anybody. I'm
We
really sorry
have
for that.
no idea.
I
You
haven't
guys
seen
are a
anyone.
phone way up on top. It's
I
not.
know you're on our TV.
Yeah, you're on our TV right now.
Hello.
You're on the
Yeah.
TV.
You're mounted way up there.
You can only hear us, I think, because of all our acoustical
Yeah,
accordion
how can
metal.
you hear us? If anybody's
It really
watching,
is
chime in.
pretty
Is it good?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we have.
We tested it.
Yep, it sounds
2
good.
days ago.
Oh
and we
wow.
Yeah.
got all
So-
fucking weird on our.
I think
gonna-
it's that metal.
I'm gonna say one, like, pretty much last thing.
Yeah,
Cool.
sure.
Right.
Yeah, you only have one more thing to say
We
anyway.
still have
So.
2 questions to ask you.
So this lifestyle is full of bullshit, and how you deal with
Yes.
the bullshit
Yes.
Mhm.
defines who you are.
I agree.
So
Embrace
You
the
know.
suck.
Yeah.
As
Embrace
Skippy
the
would say,
suck.
if anybody knows who Skippy is, I'll pay you. I'll give you $5 if you can tell me who Skippy is
I
and
don't know
why
who
you
Skippy
embrace the suck.
Yeah. No, I don't know
Who's Skippy?
Let me know.
I-
So
I knew this guy like in East LA. His name was Skippy, but
No,
like
it's out of
so
a-
your
it's
Skippy
out of
might
a-
be different than
it's out
mine.
of a book.
Okay,
So
Okay.
Oh.
future trivia. We'll see if anybody ever gets
Maybe
it.
someone
I'll
will.
Okay.
tell you later. But,
cool.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
okay, so we have a couple questions, just like
Oh.
one or two.
Go ahead, man.
Because I
You
never
do.
did. Let me
I
see.
I
asked
want to
mine.
start your recording over there.
Yeah.
You're-
Definitely would have ran
There it is.
before that.
Look no further, feller. You found me.
Yeah, get that liquor out of the way.
We have tequila, wild turkey, rye whiskey, and then
Here's
some
that
beer
one.
cans.
Some beer.
Some
Yeah, and the
Screwball.
screwball whiskey.
Yeah.
We didn't drink it all.
Yeah, that wasn't
God,
all
it looks
tonight.
so bad right now. Like,
It
yeah,
does.
we haven't even
They
touched the
probably
wild
have.
No,
turkey.
it was like this much.
They
Like,
brought like
They
that
have
much.
Uber here, right?
Yeah, it's so. But I mean, it looks so bad. Like
Yeah.
half. There's more than half that bottle's gone. Half
Everything.
that bottle's gone. That thing's completely
We look
gone.
like we partied really hard.
And we haven't even.
We
Yeah,
started really early.
I've really only had 3 beers and a
That's why we're sitting down.
couple shots of that.
No,
Yeah.
it's all my fault. I'm good.
I'm sorry. We interrupted you.
No,
I'm
no,
sorry.
there's
I'm
no such
sorry.
thing. It's
You're
your show.
That's true.
So we're gonna do this interview series where we want to talk to our nomadic friends
Cool.
Cool.
and the people we've met and the people we haven't met, and so we have just some base questions, and it's just gonna kind of go from there. There's really no form to it.
Cool.
And I thought that's what she was gonna ask earlier. I was like, oh wait, I changed
Yeah.
my- So, how did you meet? Like a little synopsis of your story, and what made you decide to get into this lifestyle and build a bus?
We've like done 2 podcasts on that.
We can talk.
Well,
this
we
is
can
for
just
their
refer to
interview.
that, but just give me a
This is
quick,
their interview.
just give me a quick
We
thing.
met in high
No,
school.
not quick.
So our very first.
I went to.
Well, we can
Time
always, we can
we
always
ever
refer to the
I went to
podcast. Like you can check
Sappy.
it out there.
No,
No,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
problem.
No, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
I went to
so
Sappy.
I don't want to
version.
steal
I'll
your
give it
story.
to
I
you.
just
so our
want to.
sappy version is the very first conversation we had with each other
Seventh
was
grade
about my
summer
balls,
was about
and it was
balls.
her asking why guys
Why do you grab
grab their
yourselves all the
crotch,
time?
and I
He was
said,
laying
oh well,
down
sometimes,
at Brooks Fyerson's house at his like 7th
because
grade
everybody
summer
knows
birthday
who that
party.
is.
He'll know. And he was laying on the driveway, and he grabbed his balls, and I was just like, I didn't have like brothers growing
It's
up,
Mississippi summer.
and it was hot and
It's
sticky,
humid.
fucking sticky
you know?
balls. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, why do dudes
Seriously.
always grab their balls?
Seriously, you know.
And he was
That's why I
like,
don't go in the south in the summer.
he said he's like, well, because your balls get hot and sweaty and they stick to
Stick
your
to your
legs.
leg. You gotta pull them
And
off.
I was like, oh shit! Like he blew my fucking mind. I was like, oh my god, I just got.
Her and her
schooled.
friend were acting like they were taking sea drugs, and sea drugs were just certs, like the
They were
candy.
certs for
Yeah.
our breath. We were fucking stupid.
Yeah.
And it was
Asking guys about their balls.
And then the second
Yeah.
time we had a conversation was 9th grade at the lunch line.
I think she makes this up.
No,
I swear to
he
God, I do
asked
not remember
If
this at all.
my best friend Amanda and I were lesbians, because everybody in the field house says that we're lesbians, and I was like, no.
I was a
we're
hopeful
not.
guy. You know what I mean?
And so, and then I ended up dating like all of his friends. We would go on like double dates, but we never really talked. I thought he was a preppy, snobby dude, and like
She didn't get to know me.
I was more of a like I played a lot of sports. My parents kept me busy, so I didn't have time to like go to parties and stuff really. And I had like one best friend, so that was it. So anyway, I guess junior year we had art together, and I had just
I
gotten
totally
a long
crushed that
term.
fucking class. Didn't have to take the
The
exam.
bitch did
She
all the
did.
work for him.
Man, I
she
was
drew
so
everything. He would be like, Miss Pruitt, I don't know what you're talking about. And she would do the whole fucking thing. And then he would turn it in and she would give herself an A.
good.
And I had to take the final because I
Yes.
missed too many days.
Where's
And
this
he-
lady now?
Dude,
I don't know.
she was probably not even alive. I don't know.
Who
but
knows?
But anyway, I had just gotten out of a really long-term relationship. He did as well. We were dating some. I
Remember,
met
we
this-
were kids, so
I
like
met
we're
this-
talking about a year.
Yeah,
you know what
it
I
was
mean?
a
That's a
year-long
long-term
relationship.
Nowadays,
Huge.
Yeah.
We did a lot of. I did a lot of dating, like in high school.
you have stuff that hangs
I
around your
guess.
back sometimes longer than that, you know?
And anyway, I met this dude at Mardi Gras and I was dating him. It was really promising. And he was with some chick that was younger than him, wasn't really serious. And what
took her.
happened? I
just took her, I made her mine. That's how this shit goes.
He was working at PacSun and in the
Love
mall
Pac Sun. Old Pac
in
Sun.
Slidell, Louisiana. It was like a 40-minute drive. and I was going to get prom shoes for junior prom, and I was like, "Hey, are you working at PacSun?" He was talking to my friend the whole time, like totally
I'm getting the
ignored
deets, bro.
me,
I know how this game is
like
played.
didn't pay me any attention, and I was like, I kind of think he's cute. Like
I
if
never
he's
would pay her
working, I'll
attention.
go.
I used to talk to all her friends but her, and I was just getting all the intel that I needed.
I was like, you were such
So
an
when I came
asshole.
in,
like, why didn't you talk to me?
She was easy.
Anyway, I made.
You gotta
the
put
first
the work
move.
in, people.
I made
put
the
the
first
work in.
move. I made the first move. I
She
was
thinks,
like,
but I was gathering intel.
I'm gonna come to your.
for
I'll come
months.
to your work, and we'll come hang out. You can help me pick out prom shoes. And so we go. I talk to him. He's talking to my friend. My fucking boyfriend is there at the time, walking with me to go pick out these prom shoes.
There you go. See?
The motherfucker didn't have enough money to pay for my friend's ice
Guess who
cream.
did? The guy that just got
So
off work
he-
from PacSun.
So he's like, "I'll get you your friend's
Boom.
ice cream." And then
Boom.
after that guy tried to kiss me, and I was gonna drive him to his car because he.
So she knew better than to kiss him.
I didn't want to kiss him, so I was like, "Oh no, I don't want to do that. I'm sorry." But it wasn't gonna happen. So I drove him to his car. He ended up leaving this piece of paper in my car. So the next day,
Smooth.
or we ended up going all the way back to Mississippi. We sat in the Walmart gas station parking lot and talked.
Because
for
that's
a couple
where
hours.
everybody literally
That's
would
where
meet up.
everybody was at.
Yeah.
And we discussed we would have a chaperoned date maybe the next day. But
At
you had
Burger
left,
King.
yeah, you had left that paper in my car, and so I called him and I was like, "Hey, I gotta go wash my car in town. Like, come on." I was checking my oil when he pulled up, and he was like, "I thought that was so hot. You like could check."
I
Your
took her
oil and
paper.
stuff."
She didn't leave it in my car. I made sure she forgot it, so she would have to call me back again.
So
I
then-
played chess while other people were playing checkers.
So we have our friends go with us on a chaperone date to Burger King because we didn't want anybody to see us from school because they knew that he had a girlfriend at the same school. We didn't want it to be scandalous.
Yep.
So
Look
we're
at
like,
you two.
we're gonna go and we're gonna talk to each other, and he paid.
Yeah.
I did. He paid for my meal. He paid for my friend's meal, and my friend was. You know how it is
Right,
when you're in high school. Like that's your
Oh, you got
best
to.
friend. If someone takes care of her, you're like panty dropper. We're
Ooh.
getting together right
Oh
now.
yeah.
So we ended up
Sexy.
after prom, because I went with a friend and my friend went with friends. Anyway, we ended up
Yeah.
getting together right after prom.
Did you
and-
still have the boyfriend at that?
No, I had.
Okay.
I was like, hey, this isn't gonna work out. Like we weren't really serious. He went to school in another state. It was like Slidell. It was
And I
like
waited
30
for her
minutes.
to get rid of her boyfriend at the time before I got rid of my girlfriend because
To
I wasn't
make
about to be
sure,
alone.
I guess.
So once Morgan
But
finally
we
was
had
like,
planned
"That's
it.
serious? Okay, look, you got to go."
And
See
so
you
then
later.
ever since then we were like inseparable. And then
Yeah.
we he was like my new best friend. And honestly, I think we found each other when we needed each other the most.
Sure.
Because my family was going through a lot of
Hell
stuff.
yes.
My sister was off
What was
in
the other-
LSU, and
Part of this question. then?
everybody was going through a midlife crisis, and I was like the youngest, last one, and I needed.
That
he was
toughened
kind
her
of my
up.
outlet. Like I could go to his house if I needed to get away or whatever, and he was able to come to me when his mom went crazy, and then I'd be like, "All right, we got to go back to your house because your mom's gonna call the cops because I'm like 6 months older than."
Oh
you.
yeah,
I
we
just
ran
turned
away one time. I
18.
left the house. Fuck you,
It was
mom! And we
5
just took off.
minutes. It was.
Yeah.
We got to the front.
5
of
minutes down the road, I was
subdivision,
like,
and
"Bro, I think we really need I got to go back home."
Yeah, and I was like, "Okay, we have to, I don't want your mom to call the cops on me."
We can't do this.
It's a terrible
Let's-
idea. We can hang
let's
out
go
for like a little bit,
Yeah.
but we should probably go home.
But we should seriously not really run away together because
Yeah.
like I have no money.
And the first time we ever kissed, a transformer blew up.
It's fact.
Whoa.
That is a
Isn't
fact.
that crazy?
Yeah.
And I never really believed in energy.
That's like
even
a
then.
huge moment.
Yeah, but then when I got older and I was like, man, energy, and like we do have a lot of spark. We can fight like no other and
Jesus
yell and scream.
Christ.
It's not as bad as it used to when we first got married because it was like first time we're 18. We never had lived with anybody other than our parents. We just thought it was
Right.
cool because we had a place together.
Right.
And
Yeah.
then like he was gone all the time. I had all these infantry dudes that would like kill people for a living, wrestling in my living room every weekend, drunk, and it was just a crazy time.
That's an experience.
It was nuts.
She grew up
In
very tough.
Alaska,
So people
it
don't
was
understand like where her language comes from, like where her
why I
mentality.
act this way.
Her entire life, she was around nothing but a group of trained killers.
It's
And
true. I never-
anywhere she
I always
went,
felt
she was
protected.
always protected
He would
because
be
she
like,
was
"You're
around
so-"
all of these
He's
guys.
like, you just don't even care. When
I'm like,
you
you're
go
so
out.
goddamn carefree.
Why
Just-
do you like
yeah.
that? And I finally was like, you know what, Ryan? I grew up around. It didn't matter. Like we got to Alaska.
Yeah.
I wasn't on his orders. My parents had bought me a one-way ticket right after our wedding. He just graduated basic airborne school, going to a first duty station. We got married. I got an ID. I didn't know I had to be on his orders. We didn't know
I
that.
didn't know.
We get up there and they're like, we don't have anywhere for you to go. Like he has barracks, but we don't have like a place for y'all to stay. So we had no money. Okay, because this other crap.
Let's
that
not even
happened.
get into all that.
Anyway,
So move
it
on
was
with
just-
this story.
It was crazy. But it was cool because I had to go sit in this like building where all these soldiers were just in processing all day for like 4 days with all of our luggage. and all his friends, there were 8 of them that came up on the same flight as us, and they every time would come by like, hey, are you okay, you doing good, because all these single soldiers are coming by fucking with me, you know, and they're like, hey, are you good, and they would make sure everybody around them knew that they knew me and that I was good, you know. So I always felt like I had this like
Team.
brotherhood,
Yeah.
you know, even though he's
Absolutely.
out.
You're a part of the squad.
Yeah, so I can be carefree because like that's how I grew up. So it's, I don't know, that was kind of our story though, and running off to Alaska right after we got married was probably the best thing for our marriage, because we didn't have to worry about people poking their noses in it. We didn't have to worry about if we got in a fight, where were we gonna go? It's Alaska. I would drive down the road and be like, fuck, I'm gonna die if I leave the house.
Seriously. Yeah.
It's -60.
You're in the
What am I
abyss
gonna
now.
do?
So there is this thing that happened in North Idaho that I feel was similar.
Tell
It
us.
was the
I bet.
same. I was like,
You got your toe sucked too?
No, that was a different story.
Oh.
That's another
No
story.
way. She
It
would let
happens.
no.
Well, I'm not talking about you. I was
Just a
talking about some stranger
Just
at Walmart. That doesn't happen to every woman?
That's another
I'm
story.
not a woman.
no, let's hear it.
today.
Oh,
No, we
well,
were just talking with her.
just really quickly. So
No, let's
this
hear it.
man,
What
when
the
I was,
fuck?
we just started, and the weirdest shit happens when we started dating, and ever since then, the weirdest shit has happened. This
I believe
black man in BDUs parked his Jeep next to me at the Walmart gas station. I had flip flops on. He walked up, was hiding behind my car, and when I came around after I paid for my gas, he like grabbed my foot. He was kneeling down. Where
Got
I
a
couldn't
big
see
gap
him.
in his tooth.
Big
like
old
just-
fucking gap, and
Yeah.
he was like, "You have beautiful feet," and he grabbed him. He started sucking on my toes. And he was like, and I was like, oh my God. And I used to kick dudes in the balls. I had a lot of bullies growing up, and I would like beat their ass. But
But
I
it
was
felt
so fucking, yeah, it felt so fucking good. I was like, Ryan needs to do this.
I couldn't
Ryan
help
does
it.
not
I'm
do
sorry.
this.
I'm
Ryan does
sorry.
not do this.
No. So I was like, what the fuck is happening right now? I was in
Is that
shock.
Diesel?
I would have kicked him in the face, but think about it. I just took my toe out of his mouth, and I was
In
like,
between his two
from
gap
between
teeth.
his teeth. All I could think of was like my toe being floss. And he was like, don't you get that all the time? And I was like, oh my God, no. So that happened. And then I
So-
called him, and he was like, what the fuck? And he's like, I told you weird shit was
Wow.
going to happen. When
True
you started dating
story.
me."
True story. I dated a guy who liked to suck toes. He did it once to me.
And it freaked you out.
It felt good,
Yeah.
but it freaked me the
Really?
fuck out. Like I was like,
I didn't know a tongue could go there. I didn't know it was supposed to go there.
You definitely know.
What?
You can put a tongue anywhere. Oh my God.
One
We're
size
really
fits
gonna do
all.
this. Why are you guys looking at me crazy? We are all adults here.
You're the one that.
so it's
That's what I grew up around.
it's not.
Gotcha. All right.
That's my person. That's
Yeah.
very raw and very, very pornographic.
So, second question.
Very gnarly and nasty.
What do you lick?
What is it
Go
that
ahead.
you lick? Go ahead.
What's the second one?
What made you guys decide to build a bus and become nomads?
Oh, so you already know the answer.
Yeah, I know we
here.
know it, but nobody
Yeah, so
else
we
knows
were,
it besides their pod.
Smoking
Sorry.
weed
Late at
and
night.
late at night.
It was a brainstorming session. We had a lot of brainstorming, late night talking sessions. And he had, well, and it's a culmination of everything.
We'd watched that movie, Tiny, The Art of Living Small, and I started realizing, like, man, you know, we could totally do this, and we
weren't-
should do this.
Yeah, and we weren't attached to anything because we had.
We
a
had
house
just had the
fire.
house fire.
It was a total.
We had just
loss.
lost 100% of everything. So
And you were waiting for insurance money, yeah?
no,
No,
we
no.
had it like right away.
No,
Oh,
USAA
really?
was
Yeah,
great. They
USAA
took
was
care of us.
fantastic. Yeah.
It was probably everybody would warn us. They're like, oh, they're gonna try to get one over on you, and they
They
never
didn't.
did. They gave us everything. I mean, they made it super easy.
Yeah, they're supposed to be amazing.
They were
They
really
are.
definitely, and you know what's crazy? The year before, I got rear-ended twice going to work. Once in the beginning of the year, once in the end of the year.
We were so
Next
afraid they
year-
were gonna like kick us off
the
the
next year the
insurance.
house
like,
burned
Jesus.
down, and I was like, God damn, we're gonna lose insurance because they're like, these people are fucking like a liability.
We have seriously cost them more than we've ever paid in.
It
I
was a
know that
brand
to
new
be a
house.
fact already.
I only made like 5 months worth of payments on this brand new house that burnt down.
Yup.
And
See, it is
so
worth it sometimes.
It really
Oh, it's
was. It was
definitely
an
worth it.
investment. We
Always
wouldn't
cover
have
your
had the
ass.
money to do the bus if we wouldn't have had the equity in the house because of the fire.
Yeah.
We didn't have to have a new foundation. We didn't have to have septic. We didn't have to have a well. So we had like
We scoped all the lines on the foundation,
The engineers
just in
came
the
to make sure
plumbing,
everything
just to
was
make
good.
sure that we didn't have any
Yeah.
cracks, leaks, or you know.
we could still feel the carpet underneath. Like there's so much ash, just like we could bounce on the bed, but like it was just covered in ash. So it never got hot enough to like hurt the foundation.
Yeah, the foundation only got to about 300 degrees, the
Yeah,
report said.
but he had
so.
like 3,000 rounds of ammo in our closet, and so when we had to make sure the firefighters knew that when it went off, that hey,
Okay,
this
careful.
is going.
Oh yeah, I was like, don't go in there.
And by
Or
the
just
way,
let this son of a bitch burn.
we did have a
you don't
safe.
want this.
It was a fire safe from Walmart, $100, and it totally
Worked. Century safe.
everything
It was a
stayed in
century
there,
safe.
even with all the ammo
Yep.
right next to it.
Yep.
Really?
The
Yep.
handle
They
melted
work.
off, but our friend did an angle grinder and got the door off. And so
They
it
get a
totally
bad
worked.
name for looking
We had
cheap, having a lot of
gold, silver.
Yeah, because
plastic.
they do. They look.
But
cheap.
yeah, we had
It
gold, silver in
totally
there,
worked.
and just we had our passports in there. Like everything
Wow.
was
Everybody's
fine.
stuff.
Yeah, century
Baseball
safe. They look
cards.
cheap, and yeah, they have cheap handles, but in a real fire, I promise you, they will save
Yeah,
you.
we
Fucking
did
worth
do
it.
that.
Yeah, it's definitely
even in your
worth it,
bus
for
you
sure.
know? But as far as like, so, we had this like whole awakening. I think at that moment, we had been homesteading. We had
Yeah.
recently we just started planting some trees when the house was getting rebuilt. It kind of gave us a boost because we added a fence, we added solar panels.
Was the question how did we get in the podcast?
Yeah,
What was the
how we
question?
got into bus life.
Oh,
And so it was like, and we had such a terrible time with the contractor. It wasn't the insurance. It was Wells Fargo Property Loss Department, because if you don't pay your taxes separate from your mortgage, or I'm sorry, your insurance separate from your mortgage, you are just a person that signs a check
Yeah.
to Wells Fargo Property Loss
Yeah.
Department. That's all it is. It's fucking awful. They literally told me, one lady said, ma'am, it's not my fault. I didn't burn your house down. And I'm like, yeah, but I don't deserve to be treated
cool,
like
but you need to
shit
give me my
either.
fucking money so I
It
can
was-
keep
it
getting
was,
my
like,
house
awful.
built. Yeah.
They wouldn't send inspectors, and it took us.
The inspectors
9
would ask
months
us,
to
can you
build a
just
house that
take
didn't even
pictures
need
and
a
send them to
foundation.
me?
It
Come on.
was too much. We were in this apartment forever, so we were like, and we would go to the job site, and these people would be sleeping
Swear to God.
on naps.
Yeah. They were on straight siesta, bro.
Dude, it was crazy.
One guy was changing his oil in my brand new
driveway.
driveway
It was
we got paved.
nuts.
Are you kidding me,
It
bro?
was like
Wow.
nobody, and the builder was building another house on top of the hill, so like I knew the money we were giving him wasn't
Oh,
just
absolutely.
going to the house. It was going.
I can't
to
prove
him,
it,
too.
but it's what it looked like.
And then he would
He doesn't
call
even
us
build
and make
houses
us
anymore.
feel bad and say, "Oh, I have to work at Burger King and flip burgers because I can't afford your house." And I'm like, "Motherfucker, I gave
People were
you the money,
trying to take
spend it."
advantage of us.
It was
And
just
luckily we
awful.
are who we are.
Yeah.
And I'm just a guy who's not gonna relent. And so me and this guy, we would butt
Every
heads
fucking
every
day.
day, every day.
It was a nightmare.
I'd have to just start giving this guy ultimatums, just to
Oh,
get him
man.
to do his job.
and it
So-
wasn't. And so we basically just.
Oh,
was
and when
like,
this was all said and done,
"Screw
getting
this."
built, it
Yeah.
looked beautiful. But honestly, I felt just the way he
Unsafe.
built it was, lipstick on a pig. I'm not saying he did that.
Yeah.
I'm saying just because of all the turmoil and just
That's
the
how it
arguments and the
makes you feel.
fights,
Yeah.
I just
He would
didn't
sit
trust
and
it,
pick apart
for
the
myself
house
personally.
all the time.
And you know what? Now we see this, there's people doing the tiny house lifestyle, and you know what can we do? And we honestly thought we invented the Skoolie movement.
Yeah, we didn't. We were like, "Oh, we're gonna make a
We
house
were
into a bus."
like, we didn't have
No.
a diesel truck.
You kind of did to me. Just
Oh,
saying.
Oh, thank
Good,
you.
Good News Bus was the only bus out, and he had a slideshow, and he voiced over.
Thank
the
goodness
YouTube.
he did what he did.
And I was
He
like,
helped a lot
did
of people
this?
out in the beginning.
Yes, I was
Yeah.
like, we can do this. He
It's
broke it
really
down.
shit that he's not
It's
getting
big.
the proper.
I agree. I totally agree.
Yeah.
He's not at all.
And with all the kids and all of the
This is their
creativity-
second bus, even I
I
think,
know,
right? So
Oh, he's making
Yeah.
another one?
no, they already did.
No, they
They're in
already
it.
did. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I thought they built a house.
No, that was.
But
somebody else,
even-
I think.
No. They did
Even-
the bus, and then they built their house, and he built the house because it gave him the courage from the
No,
bus to do
no.
the house.
No, he was
That
he was
wasn't
on a
the same.
property.
It was on his website. That's
He was
all
on
I
a
know.
property
Uh,
that was a house, and he was building his second bus. But the point is, like, when you look up how to repaint something, or like he was the only person
Yeah.
out there,
yeah.
Yeah.
the only one,
Yep.
the only one, and now it's like this whole
And there's no right way to do a bus.
tits and
build either.
ass. It's
Oh, it's
tits
funny
and ass
watching
now.
people argue about it, though. Oh my God, there are some hardcores in this Skoolie
No,
community.
so we
They want
think-
to tell you how to do it.
No,
Especially
we
on Skoolie.
think.
Oh yeah.
Well, I personally think that the beauty of what it is right now is to show like the ugly parts. Like,
Yeah.
fuck you.
People need to see the
I
ugly.
don't need a,
Yeah, say it.
Yeah, a goddamn freaking hallway light. We are doing this as hippies. We don't need lights.
I have heard about this hallway light 3 times today from you. That seriously just eats at your soul, that hallway light.
I was so-
She has been picking at that scab
No,
all
no.
day.
It's her own scab.
It's my own.
That's the best part
it's
about
my
it.
own scab. No, it's my own scab.
You have mentioned
we
it
need
3
a fucking
times.
Hallway light. We
That
need
is
a hallway
amazing.
light.
So we're building the bus.
You better get her a fucking light.
Granted, we're in a hurry.
Ronco, por favor.
She has plenty of fucking lights. So she's like, "You don't need a hallway light. You're putting all these
No, we're
lights
hippies.
in and
We're
blah."
hippies. We don't need lights. We're hippies.
Have
we
you
don't need
guys
lights.
seen those things? It's a company out of Africa, and they learn to
Make
use kinetic
lights.
energy, and that it'll
Yeah.
run for like 20 minutes. You know,
Yeah,
it has
the
this
little
counter.
weight, you just
Yeah,
put it
that
in.
thing.
Yeah.
It is so cool. I want to buy some just because I think that's
think
awesome to have.
Yeah, that was
And I want to
remember
support
seeing
that
when
kind
it was
of
on like
business.
Kickstarter,
Oh, totally.
if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I think they did
I
start
think it
off
was
on
on Kickstarter.
Kickstarter.
Well, or
Yeah.
maybe Indiegogo, because that's
one of those.
worldwide.
Yeah, one of the
we
two.
don't need
I saw it on
those.
World Star.
We don't need those. We're true hippies.
Handle
Yeah,
it.
look at us, true hippies. Check out my dreads.
We were actually talking about dreads last night. I
Yeah,
learned
we
how
did.
to make dreads last night.
Yeah.
Problem is, I just don't grow any hair, so.
We did
Yeah.
a beard, dread beard.
Beard dreads.
Yeah.
Just
You could
don't
look-
do that.
We could start a
Captain
new
Jack.
thing,
Mm-mm.
like the ornaments, beard ornaments and
It's
shit.
not.
But yeah.
I really
Beard
want to do that
dreads.
to
Why
him
not?
some year.
You guys have been together for a long time. Y'all just got married, but like, how did you guys meet?
Oh, shit.
Whose
That's
story
a
should we
long
take?
story.
That's two stories.
Such a long
We met
story.
in high school,
Oh,
actually.
very nice.
Yeah, we
Okay.
dated for a short time. My sophomore year, her freshman year.
He was clingy.
Yeah, supposedly it was
And I
clingy.
was-
I
You
see
know
it
how
as
when you're
I.
younger. There's always one that's a little bit more than the other, you know.
Yeah, you know what it was? Is I fucking loved her.
Oh,
And
he knew it, and she
It never.
wasn't
Yeah,
ready.
seriously, it
She
never.
wasn't ready to receive your love.
No, not at all. She wasn't. That's
Rejected.
not what she was looking to receive.
That's so funny.
So yeah,
No.
that's how we
And
met.
she got
And then,
addicted to what
Wild.
the dick did.
and then
she came back.
and then Melons
no,
brought us
actually,
back
no.
together.
I was so insecure that I still needed.
You had to grow up some.
Yeah, I had
That's
to grow
all,
up
yeah.
some. I still needed to like sleep around to
Yeah,
validate
sure.
my
Yeah.
existence, which
Sure.
was bullshit. Right? Total
We have
bullshit.
different things to prove to ourselves, you know,
Yeah.
different stages of life.
Yeah.
So,
Hey, I did it.
and
I'm
now
over it.
Y'all are together now because of it, though.
hmm
Yeah, we got back together. Good old Facebook.
Oh, is that how long
But
after
we
high
were-
school?
15 years?
Yeah, 15 years ish. We started talking again.
Wow.
Yeah, it was. She
We
was.
started talking, and it was quick. It was like, hey, you check this box, this box, this box. We agree on marriage, children,
Yeah, just every conversation was.
every conversation. I
like,
was
just
like,
click, click, click,
okay,
click, click.
so
Everything
I
was
need like
perfect.
5 minutes to determine if I'm still sexually attracted to you or not. Like I knew I
Yeah.
was like years ago.
Yeah,
and
sure.
I was hot in
he
high school.
could not give up 5
Should have seen you in
minutes.
your 20s.
No, like 16 to 18.
No, I was just talking about her shirt. It was
Oh,
a
yeah,
plug
you
for
have a
me.
shirt. Yeah, it's a plug for.
It's a plug for me,
I
not for
caught
you.
it. She wrecked it.
I know.
Yeah.
I got it.
Sorry.
You're good.
So he couldn't give me 5 minutes. He couldn't. So
I was working
then-
3 jobs.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So I just drove up to Prescott one day and let him know on the way up there that I was on my way and I demand my 5 minutes because I need to know if we have sexual.
And it was like 2.5 hours.
So
Yeah.
she called you for a booty call, basically. She was about to use you, see if she wanted more of this in her life. or not.
100% correct.
Hell yes.
And I didn't give it up.
Yeah, no way.
Oh,
He
it was-
withheld?
No, it
Come
was,
on.
It was,
All clothes
no.
stayed on.
oh, it was so
You,
much
sir.
hotter than that. Oh my god.
That is awesome.
Oh my
That's
god.
good.
That is awesome.
Oh, so good.
And you didn't give it
So
up.
I-
So that
We
made you
drove
want
up-
it even more,
We
right?
drove up to this lookout area.
Fuck yeah.
that- you wanna say?
Fuck yeah.
You drove him to a lookout area?
Now we drove up
Yeah.
to this look.
Mhm.
I
The
hopped
story's
in-
better if she's the one driving you there. Like,
She
you're about
was,
to get raped.
She was driving. She
I
was
feel
driving.
like I'm going to hear
I'm
a
not-
hashtag me too from him here in a minute, you know?
Seriously,
I'm
it was
waiting
almost
for
there.
it.
Yeah.
Like, no means no.
No,
Kinda.
no means
She's
yes.
like,
No
oh my
means
god,
yes.
you're so happy to see me. I'm like, yeah, that's my guy.
Oh,
Oh
it
my
was so hot. But
I met her in a grocery store parking lot, and we drove up to this
Oh,
old
that is
defunct
hot.
construction
Oh,
site
that's
that was on
hot.
the
That's
side.
a
of
porno
the-
start like
on
that.
the- yeah, that's how I planned it. And then,
See,
Because
you're
I knew
planning
that's
this
what she
too.
wanted.
It was my
Nice.
favorite one.
And we just hung out on this little mountainside for
That
a
she
couple
brought you
hours
to.
before I had to work. Yeah, she drove. I directed her there.
Nice,
Good.
beautiful.
That's good.
Oh no, I drove the whole time.
See, she did bring you to the lookout point.
No, I mean I just drove.
She like.
She tried to.
No, you.
Anyway,
probably
I wouldn't give it up. It was
It was-
great, and I think she liked me. And then we decided the next.
You didn't even give her
weekend-
the tip.
No.
Not even just
Not
the
even-
tip.
No, we made
No,
out for like
no,
an hour.
no
and
tip.
That was it. It was like
No
high
tip.
school.
She goes,
No.
no,
It was
tip.
like junior
Not
high.
even clothes off. It was like seriously.
Out-
He didn't
high
even give
school
you
outside
any-
in public.
Was
like,
it all
didn't-
over the clothes? There was no.
over the clothes.
I don't even think we
It was
felt each
like-
other up.
Now, was it because you were
No,
sorry?
no.
It was-
Granted, I got
oh
a
my
handful
God.
of ass because
Oh
Now it comes out. Now he's like, oh yeah, I did touch your ass.
no,
I
no,
did."
clothes
Definitely.
all the way on though.
Sure,
Like
sure.
nothing under clothes.
Because he's a gentleman, okay?
Yeah.
I loved her.
No,
that's
he's a
sweet.
tease.
I didn't want to fuck
He's
it
a
up.
tease. He was a
little
tease.
She wants to take it that way, and that's what worked for her, and she liked it. But that really wasn't.
Made
the
you
case.
You know what? No,
Mysterious.
that's him though. He talked to all my friends. You know, and
Yeah.
then they
You gotta
want
make that
him
woman
more.
jealous. Any
Yes.
guys out here listening?
I'm
That
friends with her.
still
best-
works. I don't care.
I'm friends.
That
with
worked
her
in
best friend.
1700s.
That's good.
No, it
That's
Works
still
to this day.
works. It's like 6 years later, and he's still teasing me.
That's good.
Still,
Ooh, you're playing the long game.
still, it's
The
Yeah.
long
Yeah.
con.
Yeah.
no,
I like it.
it's like a game of
Like your
chess.
style,
Really,
sir.
I'm like, no, fucking king me.
And you're
He's
playing
like,
checkers.
That's checkers.
King me. I like that. I
Yeah,
play
she's like
checkers.
king me, and I'm like, you can't move that way.
You know what? This is her story.
It's not the same fucking
So we were
rules.
playing Trouble, and then now you got to king me.
I'd like to
And
buy
you don't
2
pass
hotels,
go.
please.
Don't click $200.
Absolutely.
Do
Absolutely.
not pass go.
We have cracked
Sorry.
these mics all night.
Yeah,
Golly.
it's a
Oh,
problem. We
man.
apologize for the cracks. You know, I actually saw a question or something.
Oh,
about
did you?
Papa
Oh,
No
Roach.
okay.
way.
Yeah, I think-
We've
that was a
we're
while ago,
clearly
sorry.
at like
That's
2
probably
hours
given
now.
up.
So are you done telling us the story when you tried to force
No.
yourself upon him?
Yeah.
Upon this innocent
So I had
gentleman?
to go to work. And so I went to work. She went back to
Okay,
Phoenix.
And you can't be smelling like sex, absolutely.
Right, yeah, it was a gentleman's
No.
job. I was running
That's
a
what is your
peddler.
5-year plan.
Have you seen this?
I left.
It's like a pedal bar.
Still.
Are you
Like,
serious?
People get on and pedal it like a bike, and you go around around town
Oh,
on a
no
bar
way.
tour.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was a fun job. I had
Nice.
3 jobs at the time. That's the one I was working that night.
Now, did the blender work on the pedals as well? Because I have seen
No,
somebody
no,
who's
'cause
made like a juice
we
bar
couldn't
like that.
serve on the peddler, so we just did bar tours,
Got you.
and
Okay.
they got discounts for riding the bar.
This is actually where it gets really good.
Before you start, really quick, Chris asked
Chris
Steer. Oh, he said she was easy, man. Mine too, brother. It's just our looks. Laughing my
Oh,
ass
yeah.
off.
Well, thank you. I knew that.
He said, a question for the bricks.
It's our looks.
He said it's their looks. He said, how long have you been in the bus? What's your 5-year plan once the bus was built? And is bus 90% finished? Or are y'all still building?
We've been in the bus for 2 years,
Almost 2 years. Yeah.
almost 2 years. Our 5-year plan,
Our 5-year plan has changed. So was it to begin with or now?
no, yeah, to begin with, it was just to travel for, a little bit and then possibly sell the bus.
Find
but
out where we wanted to.
fuck that. Traveling kicks ass despite mechanical bullshit.
Y'all can face anything now.
So,
Yeah, if you really want it, it's
yeah.
worth it.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, yeah, travel back and forth. We have family in Arizona and Idaho. So, I feel like I'm supposed to be looking up there. Is there a camera up there?
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
it's all-
Oh, okay.
what you
Yeah.
can
So,
Yeah, that's you in that view right there.
say hi. Say
well,
hi.
I see
That wasn't some stranger.
that.
That's you.
You took a picture earlier and just posted it.
Um,
It's a
one of the
Polaroid.
best
We're doing the
parts.
same thing
One
we're
of the
doing
best
right now.
parts about traveling for us is
Thought it was
being
a mirror.
able to visit family
Yeah.
and friends.
Mhm.
Which we've been
Hence
able
we're
to
here
do.
now.
Oh,
Sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
seriously.
That's true.
Yeah, absolutely.
And this part of Arizona too is so cool.
It really
Oh
Oh my
is.
gosh, I didn't know.
Everybody's
it
like
was this nice.
terrified about they're gonna kill you.
We were like,
Everybody
Who's
is like
killing you?
that.
Yeah, like
You don't
No,
see
there's not
any-
people
were
jumping across the
born-
border snatching you all day. Yeah,
not all day, only like
Only
a
at
couple.
night.
yeah. Everyone
Rush
knows the
hour.
rules. 1 to 2. 1 to 2. Stay inside.
Yeah.
Kidding.
no, Southern Arizona is a totally different game. Like we were born and raised in mostly northern Arizona.
Mhm.
Southern Arizona is way better
Is
than
it?
northern.
Nice. That's good to
Yeah.
know.
That's just because we're sick of Northern
I think
Arizona.
Eastern
Yeah.
Arizona
Let's
is
not
probably
get
the best though.
let's not
It
get it
is
wrong.
gorgeous. It's just so
Nice
hard to
weather.
get there
Yeah.
to that side. You know.
Northern Arizona and Central Arizona is beautiful.
Oh yeah.
It's
absolutely.
great to visit.
Yeah.
But we lived there, we grew up there, we watched
Right.
it
Absolutely.
change.
Absolutely.
And it's not the same as it was. And for people in our age bracket,
Mhm.
demographic, it's not the easiest place to get by.
Mm.
You know, so it
There's
Gotcha.
no jobs. There's a bunch of crackheads. Like
Yeah.
it's
Crack's
just
everywhere
shit.
now.
Yeah, it
You
really
know?
is. It seems like.
Well, here too, but
Yeah. But if you've
Like,
been in there, though, it's
look
time to
at that-
it's time to go.
Yep.
Yeah,
You
she-
know, I
look at
get
that mountain range. My
Yes, it's
God.
beautiful.
yeah.
Look at this
But yeah, I guess our 5-year plan has changed a little bit to address the
Absolutely,
question. Like
yeah,
first it was to figure out where we wanted to be so that we could raise Jonah.
sure.
And now it's turned into this is what we love, so why should we change it
Right.
Yeah.
when it's
Yeah.
us and it works so great and it's amazing.
Yep.
And we have found places that, like we love Bisbee, we love Northern Idaho. We'll probably end up with some sort of place in both.
Mhm.
But for right now, traveling is what we really, really love.
That's
Yeah.
good.
So,
Yeah.
but let's
Go back to your.
It was just about to get good.
Yeah, yours was just about to get good.
Yeah.
Where are we at?
So the next
No, it
the next
didn't get
weekend, I had the
No.
weekend off. And we decided that we were going to go to Payson and spend the weekend together and like really see if, it was going to work and that we really, it's what we thought it was. Cause it
Let's
was,
be honest.
it was
Let's be
it was like an
honest.
explosion incredible. Like every conversation, every moment we had to feel like we were
No,
with
we
each
just
other
needed
was
to make sure
amazing.
that
That's good.
No, that's
we
what you
could-
needed.
Okay.
She needed that
I
ass. She said
needed
that
that.
already.
Seriously,
I
she's
needed
like,
the
I need to get
ass.
laid.
Yeah.
I needed to make sure it was good. That's all. I just needed to make sure it
You
was
Wait,
didn't
good.
want to lock down to him and it not be good.
Absolutely.
But after he makes you wait for 6 years,
And it was
sounds
terrible.
like
No, you didn't make her 15 years, really.
15,
yeah,
was it
15.
So-
always 15 years, excuse me.
Yeah.
So we went to Payson to spend the weekend there.
Beautiful there.
Yeah, and it was
Oh.
summer monsoons, and it was like the craziest monsoon we'd seen. Like,
Mhm.
and I
Really?
grew up in monsoons. It was like flooding and just crazy lightning storms. And when we pulled into town, we weren't even in Payson yet. We stopped for lunch at this little brewery up there, and we almost got struck by lightning,
Oh my god.
like right across the street. Like we just sat down, got our beers, like take our first sip, and we're like staring at each other, like, "Oh my god, I do love you,"
Energy.
and just boom,
Look at
right across the
that.
highway.
Energy.
I mean, right across the highway, like
It's meant
It
to
wasn't
be.
All
even
our hair
across
was
the
standing
highway.
up.
It was in the backyard of
God
the bar
dang.
that we were in. It wasn't even across the highway. It was right
Dude,
there.
that shit rocks.
Like-
It was like-
Wow.
it was like
No,
a
it,
road.
Oh, yeah,
it
it does.
literally makes
Yeah, like-
the
Yeah.
hair
ears
stand
ring,
up.
hair
Yeah.
standing
Like,
up.
Yeah,
Like, you could feel
involuntarily.
the wave of energy.
Yeah.
It was
Yep.
Yeah.
intense,
Yeah.
Texas.
and that was it.
That was a
Um,
sign we should do it.
That's cool.
Yeah,
You finally gave it up after that, huh?
And you're like, all right.
yeah, like that night, I think.
Nice.
I'm so turned on right now to that near-death experience.
We
Yeah,
almost
pretty much.
died.
No. After that, we went and checked into our hotel, which was the shittiest best week.
This is the best stories from the
Yeah,
shitty
We
hotel.
checked in there,
Oh,
and then we decided
absolutely.
to like go on a drive. So we drove out, and we were just checking things out, and ended up in like this state park.
Nice.
Just parked in one of the parking spots, and it was pouring down rain so hard you could barely drive. Like it wasn't really safe to drive even
Okay.
at 25 miles an hour. You know?
Yeah.
And so we just we were hanging out, and I still held out. We like crawled in the back
Oh,
seat and made out, and I'm like,
Yeah.
nah, let's go to the hotel.
What the
Let's be
hell?
comfortable.
Yeah,
What
and
the
she's like,
hell?
I don't know,
I don't
man.
want to drive, and I'm like,
What
I'll
the hell is
drive.
going on
We're
right
Now
in
you
now?
gotta
her
worry. Is
car.
he like hiding a micro penis?
Seriously?
Oh my god.
See, like Amy Schumer, one of her.
I totally am. Have you seen the size of my truck?
Oh my god. I wondered that.
I
I
don't
was
have a
like,
truck.
you have such a big.
No,
diesel."
so this is like a very important part of life to me right now.
Yeah, she was really focused on rock.
Apparently, she needed some dick.
No, I needed to know that it was the right one. The right one. Like this is a
Does it
big
How do you
deal.
know when you find the right cock,
It
ladies?
just fits.
Oh,
and
it
it's just
fits.
you can get off.
That's a whole nother
That's
podcast.
like a whole
True.
nother.
That's a
like a-
whole
yeah.
other
That
podcast.
is a whole nother sex talks podcast.
A whole nother cockcast.
But you guys are like, it's really cool. So I was gonna say y'all said you went to a park. The first time we went down on each other was actually at a park, but that's because we were
Nice.
kids. And
Yeah,
we had
we're going
nowhere to
there.
go. And so
Hard left.
yeah, that was funny.
wasn't
We
ready for
didn't
that
know where
one.
to go, and it was middle of the night. He's gonna walk up on us, the creek. Anyway, it was country.
Out in the crooked
at
letter.
the crooked letter. Then
Yeah, I remember that.
Mississippi.
I remember that.
Yeah, you should have. It was amazing. Best blowjob of your life. Anyway, go ahead.
Hold on. You know
Follow up
what?
with that.
You know what? You know what? I'm gonna go ahead and say this. Like, she is so competitive. Like, she looked at me, or like, can I tell that story?
Oh,
You can't.
I'll let you-
You tell it.
I can't?
That's funny.
Oh, I
That's
wasn't
the
ready.
You
time.
tell the story. You tell the story
When I
then.
asked you, it's like, oh, that didn't take long.
She goes, that's a new record for me. I was like, I love you. If that's how you end your very first blowjob with me, like, you best believe I just fell in
I
love with
literally
you.
looked
You
at my
know?
watch and I was like, oh shit, that was a new record.
like, damn, you want to get tacos or like, what do we do now?
Yeah, and then I was like, well,
I
there's
thought
a
this
bench
was-
over there. You want to lay on that? And I guess I'll help you out, you know?
One of the most
Of course, they
monumental
don't like that at all.
one of the most monumental
I think we had cheesy
statements
ham and hash browns after that.
Probably it was
Yeah.
some
Nice.
box
in our
dinner.
relationship was we just finished doing it and we're sweaty and I have to go to school and he has to go to work and
We're both late.
late.
It's the best.
And I said, shh. And he said, what? What? I said, that's the sound of you making me a sandwich.
Oh my god, that is
I
awesome.
was like, what is that? I was all defensive, you know, like, shit, do I need to like protect us right now?
Holy shit.
Yeah, no, that's the sound of you making me a sandwich.
I like that. I like
What kind of
that.
sandwich you want?
'Cause I'm hungry now too.
Oh,
So-
I
yeah.
love it.
After pacing a week and a half later,
So what kind of sandwich did you make her?
He
she,
didn't.
I didn't. She makes the most epic sandwiches. I could never touch it.
True story.
Oh my god, that's good.
Yeah, you should
I
have
like
one
that.
I
That's
like that
good.
one though,
That's
yeah.
awesome.
For sure.
That's good.
I got a
girl.
feeling Morgan's gonna say that to me.
Yeah,
Oh,
to
yeah.
In the
me.
near future,
Oh,
yeah.
It's really one of the hottest things that you can Shh. What? That's the sound of you making me a
Where did you get that from? Did that literally just come to you on the spot? Or did you see this
No,
on a
it's like
movie?
somewhere.
Have you been
No.
practicing this or something in
no,
your head?
no. I
That was
really
just
don't
on the
know.
spot.
Oh,
From
do any of you know?
somewhere.
It was from somewhere, I think, but
Maybe it was a
Yeah,
movie.
we saw it
it's
somewhere.
definitely not original. Like someone
That's-
should chime
that's
in.
Good.
It was
That's good.
hilarious.
That's the fucking greatest thing I've
That's
ever heard.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Seriously. That is way cool.
So after that, y'all were pretty much like,
No,
that was
so,
after we were already together. But
Oh,
a week and a
no.
half after pacing, we moved in together.
yeah.
oh, fantastic.
I helped her
wow.
find
So,
a place. I
2
was like, here, here's a
dates.
place. It's right up the street from here. She moved in. I moved down.
Yeah.
When you know, you know.
Yeah, you
This
do.
recruiter. Oh, go ahead.
I like ransacked my whole house
You're
and just grabbed everything that I needed and bailed.
Like, when
it's
he-
happening.
When he moved in, I was
There's
still
a
like,
whole other story there, but yeah.
What side of the bed do you sleep on? Like,
Right,
this is,
yeah.
you know,
Oh,
it was
yeah, I guess
so,
that's true.
it was so random and also
You guys
so
remember the first time you
great.
brushed teeth together?
A bunch, actually.
No,
Like,
just the
mad about
first
you,
time,
like,
like you brushed
spitting
teeth.
it
You
out
remember
there.
that? I'm mad about
Yeah,
you. Yeah. I remember, like, just okay. So I guess we brush teeth now together,
now
you know.
this
And
is my new teeth
well,
brushing
look,
area.
this is how this looks when I
I
do
used to go
this.
jump in the shower with her in the morning. She'd like get up and shower
Nice.
every morning first thing, and I'd just go get in. She's like, hey.
He would be
The
like,
fuck?
You're conserving water.
he would be cold as fuck from PT, and he'd have to get up at like 5 a.m. and I'd always still be asleep. He'd get back at like 7 or something. He'd come home and take a shower, but he'd be fucking cold, and he would come snuggle up next to me and be like, "Get away from me!"
No
Yes,
chance.
there's- yeah, we ended up doing it.
Yeah.
We could never. We were like, we're just gonna go lay down, and
That's the
we-
only
to
way
this
to warm up.
day, like 16
Absolutely.
years later.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you
Just
have
had
to
that
get naked
conversation
and
the
put
other
your
day.
bodies together. It's survival. Yeah.
That's what he
I might
told
have
me.
died. Who knows?
He
So-
might have died.
So interestingly enough, when we were in Idaho and everything was broken and we were
Oh my god. And those goddamn
I'm such a
center
child.
and those hallway lights.
and everything was such a fucking mess and we didn't know what the hell was going on. I swear to you, we had more sex during that time than
It's a
any
good
other
stress
time.
reliever.
It is a good stress
Absolutely.
reliever.
Well, and it was like this thing.
Pound
like,
out those frustrations.
we're gonna bed down and just fucking survive this shit
Well,
it
together.
was
How are
cold.
you going to
Yeah.
survive it? You're going to survive it by fucking each other
When in
happily.
doubt, pound it out.
You know,
Yeah.
when the
Yeah, it's my motto.
The 3-year tour.
That's a new shirt.
Yeah.
When in doubt, pound it
That
out.
is a
When in
fucking
doubt,
great
pound it
shirt.
out.
I'm gonna actually copyright that after we
Talking
get off the air.
Chitty
Can I get
Yeah.
on
one
a
on that?
t-shirt.
You want some of that action?
No, that was
you want
all
some of
yours.
that action?
I'm gonna tell you though, they called Alaska the
That's
two
you
baby
making me a
tour.
sandwich.
It was a 3-year like
two
the
baby
two
tour.
baby tour because all there was to do was to fuck because it's like dark 9 months out of the
Oh,
year.
Yeah.
it's so
Yeah.
hot.
So it was the two
The
baby tour.
summers are so
Yeah.
fantastic.
Would you
We
say
had one
so
baby.
hot.
We had
So
one
hot.
baby. We didn't have two. Just
Yeah.
one there. But yeah.
It's probably good I was
That's
deployed.
good
We
stuff.
might have had to.
We probably
Yeah.
would have had to.
That's good
Because
stuff.
they would it would be too cold for them to do anything, so they would just send him home, and then when they would go, they would be gone for like a month. He'd be home for 3 days. That's when we got pregnant with Ryan. He's gone again for another month and then back for 3 days and then gone again. He was constantly, but when he was home, he was home.
It was a free for all.
Yeah.
We had to
Oh,
get everything
yeah.
that we could.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Might be a while after,
Yeah.
Could
Yeah.
be another 30 days.
Yeah, we did.
Wow.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I get that, and we were just have always been attracted to each other. I don't know. It's a good thing, I think a lot
Yeah.
of people, and I stress even my kids know, because we live in a tiny house, the space and sex. Yes, people, it is a problem, because you can't just be.
You have to
as
go front to
spontaneous.
back.
Well, yeah,
Yes,
you have to
yes.
go with the
You
direction
can't go
of
side
the
to side.
bus.
You have to go front to back. Yeah.
And that's why he doesn't like doing that. So when I have to get on top, it's sideways. So then we're all like this. But usually the kids like
Look,
will
I'm
go
6'2". You
outside.
don't have a swing?
And so like
We should have had a swing. We
Oh,
should have had a
You-
swing.
You
in a bus.
haven't-
Oh my
You
god.
haven't seen our bus?
No, we
Like,
saw, dude. That had a swing.
Did he
That-
really?
yeah. It wasn't us. To
like the
clarify.
perfect foot handles on our bus, but I'm still in my head so much.
Yeah,
like
sure.
I'm like afraid of
6
damaging
years
my
is in her
kid.
head.
Like
No, I get that. Well, see, we have two, and they're
Sex is
older.
natural.
So we
It happens.
they go outside. Or
agree.
if
Yeah.
they're inside and they kind of
Wholeheartedly
pick up
agree.
something's going on, I hear them close the door. Like, all right. But I've had the conversation. I'm just like, look, guys, our marriage is big. We have sex. Like that's how we bond. That's how we communicate. And if anybody tells you that that's not a part of marriage, that is total bullshit. I want to do a podcast about that actually.
Oh,
you
yeah.
The
should.
whole thing.
You totally
Because
should.
I see so many marriages fail, especially through deployment.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Through and it's communicating, it's all of that, and it's
Yeah.
like putting yourself out there, like being really vulnerable. Because it was embarrassing, like having that conversation with my daughter, like when she asked where babies came from. I wasn't ready for that explanation. I was put on the spot.
It was like your question when you got asked, the interview
The
you were
bus
doing,
life.
just like,
I
oh
was like,
shoot, I guess we're gonna talk about this now.
So I guess
but-
we're gonna,
yeah.
you know what? After dinner, baby, I'm gonna come in your room.
Yeah.
At the
And our
dinner
thing is
table.
always be honest with our kids.
Yeah.
If they
Right.
come to me and ask us
I'm
a
gonna give them
question,
accurate
I'm going to give you
information.
accurate information.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not
Oh,
going to
yeah.
shelter you
This is
because
not a
this is the real
porn
world.
Right.
situation.
I would rather
Yeah.
you find out from me because you
Right.
had the courage to come and talk to me about this
Right.
and you respected me enough. I'm
Right.
going to respect you and
Right.
give you the real information that you
Well,
want.
and that goes with any conversation with your kids. I think. Like,
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
don't fucking sugarcoat life.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because life is
Be
Then
honest
it's
with
gonna
them.
then it's gonna kick you in the ass when they
Yeah.
grow older, and then they're
Yeah.
gonna end up resenting you
That's
for it because you
exactly
didn't
right.
fucking sugarcoat it.
Yes. Why didn't you tell me? I fucking told you. Don't do shrooms like that.
Yes. Yes.
Don't take
Yes.
acid with people you don't know.
Seriously.
Or like just simple things. But like I feel like if I didn't tell them and it was just like this weird secret, like I wanted more communication in my family than I grew up with. And I think we all strive as parents to be that parent that we wished we had.
We're like the mom and dad off Meet the Fockers.
See,
Yeah,
You know,
we're like the
we're like
sex
them.
Well,
therapist
and
people.
Yeah.
uncomfortable
Look.
communication only happens when it's happening.
That is
After that,
true.
it's
It's
no
easy.
longer uncomfortable.
Absolutely.
And it makes it
Okay.
better
And
every
things
time.
are only as
Stop.
comfortable
You
if
can
you don't
actually
talk
talk.
about it.
my mom was entirely way too open with me.
Really?
Like I knew everything
Okay.
with everyone, with every person. She bought
Oh.
me a book on how to please myself.
Was your
Like,
mom a
it was this
prostitute?
whole thing. No, she was
She
trying
loved her
not to be
body.
her mom.
I
She was
got
trying
ya.
not to
I
be
got
her
ya.
mom.
Oh.
So I think that might have damaged me a little bit.
Because
You
it
think?
was too much. Okay, were you ready for it? Like, did you ask her for it, or was she just like, "Here's
No,
this information"?
I didn't ask.
Okay, so
Okay.
it was
It
just
is me.
free flowing information.
Yeah,
Okay.
I got you.
Totally.
I got you.
Yeah, I could see that.
I
Then.
could see that. Yeah.
that could be a little.
You didn't want this. You weren't
No,
seeking this
I
knowledge.
No,
Everybody
Yeah.
I was just trying to figure my own self out, and she was like,
Yeah.
"Here's all the
She was,
answers."
she was trying to beat you to the punch.
She was trying to beat me to the
I
punch.
got
She was
you.
trying to do a good
I got
thing.
you.
She
Yeah,
was.
sure,
It's
absolutely.
good that you recognize that, though.
Yeah.
And I get that.
Yeah, it was kind of like how do you
You know, I think everybody's
How do you-
damaged from something.
well how do you like
If you're not damaged, you're not
Parents
human.
fucked everybody
Fact.
up.
Fact, there's nobody normal.
Show me one person that's not damaged,
I
and I will
agree.
show you a
Sure.
fucking alien.
I think the problem is
Absolutely.
everybody thinks there should
You know
be a
what?
label
It's like that's
for
why people
it.
think Elon Musk is an alien. You know, I mean that guy is
That's
just
true.
No, have you
So-
read his book, like his
No.
story? The guy wrote it about him, sat down with him, you know, and did the whole thing, but he's damaged. Like he's a product of what he was, and you know, yeah, what he does is incredible, but he just said, fuck it, I'm gonna do exactly what I want to
he
happen.
says he has a hard time shutting his mind off.
I bet he
Yeah.
does.
Like it is just
I
constantly
can't
going,
imagine
going,
being-
going.
And he's
his
always
wife.
been that way.
I can't
Oh, I
imagine.
know. I bet.
Being his wife, I think, would be
It's a lot of
both
work.
brilliant and actually,
Sure.
tragic.
He got divorced.
you know.
Oh,
Yeah.
did he? And
Yeah,
he had 3
I
boys.
believe
or
so.
something too, didn't he?
Yeah, something like that. But yeah, he just can't. Like he
But how do
he
how
asked
do
himself
you,
simple questions, and like why aren't people
how do you
addressing
justify
these?
what
Like,
you're doing
Yeah.
with your family versus what you can do for humanity? Like
Yeah.
That is a really hard
That's- that's
decision, man.
fucked, man.
well, when you're given the power to be able to try and change the world,
Yeah.
And then nobody listens. Like the robot situation, he was on Joe Rogan talking about how he went to Congress and was like warning Congress, like, look, AI is there, and if we don't do something about it right now, it's going to be ridiculous, and we're not going to control it, and they're going to take
Yeah.
over basically.
and they don't
fucking
believe
laughed
him.
at him, dude.
They don't believe him.
No,
Yeah,
and
it's
here we
insane.
are. What, Facebook had to shut down those 2 computers because they figured out a fucking language, and we can't even figure out
Yeah,
what the
dude.
language is.
Yeah.
They started creating their
and
own
Joe
language.
Rogan asked him, he's like, so what do you do? Like, you know this is gonna happen, like, and you're and he's like, now I'm just gonna figure out a way to make money off of it, basically. Like, I'm just gonna get in and fit in and be like, fuck it, if you don't care about it, then I'm gonna do whatever, you know. And I'm like, well,
Which
cool, I
is-
guess.
well,
I
and
have
like-
to.
Yeah.
Which is
He's done everything he
the
could,
best thing he
you know?
can do for his kids too.
Absolutely, his posterity. Yeah, I mean, keep it going for sure.
Yep.
It's just crazy, man.
When it boils down to it, you're going to do the best thing. Well, if you're a good person, I guess you're going to do the best thing for your family and your kids.
Yeah, I
You know?
agree. You know, we always, and I'm sure you guys do, like, are we good parents? Are we doing the right thing?
sure.
So many people on our travels have told us, like, you guys are doing the right thing, and they're always older. They're old
Yeah.
Always
educators.
older.
Yeah, and they're like, I wish
I wish I was
they
there
did this
when I was
out.
your age.
Because
Yeah.
we're here
Same.
30 years later. You know what I mean? And here we are.
Yeah.
And it's like, I feel privileged to know that I'm somewhere so many other people I've met want to be.
Yeah.
And that,
or
like,
that you
maybe
had
I
the
am doing something
foresight to
see that.
determine
Yes.
what you would be missing in your
Exactly.
older years. Like that's
Exactly.
a good thing.
Or you
I
just have the
see.
courage to
Yeah.
just do it.
Just do
fucking
it.
A lot of
do
people,
it.
they don't.
That's some shit.
They would rather
right
talk
there.
about it than just say, "Fuck it, let's do it."
Or
Yeah.
they'd rather, sorry,
Go
or
ahead.
they'd rather watch other
Other
YouTubers
Yeah.
like
Sure,
doing it.
sure,
you know?
yeah.
Because
Which I
sometimes that's all
get,
they
I
can do.
get.
Maybe they have kids that are handicapped. You know, and
That's
they
like the
can't
new
do it, you know?
porn,
Yeah, it
yeah.
is. It really is.
Yeah.
And that's why we do it, though. You know, I think that's why everybody's like putting their journey out there. I think with you guys, I've seen it too. Just at least you guys are you and you're original. I know we talked about this earlier, but I like that. I don't go ahead and
No,
say
you're
what
fine.
you're gonna say, but
No, go ahead.
you guys are always honest. Like when y'all were having all those bus troubles, Lily wrote this amazing like write out, and I was like, you have to read this. And I was like crying when I was reading it. I was like, God damn, like I know mentally where you were at.
Yeah,
Like,
you did a really good job on that.
Yeah,
Did
that's-
you ever post that,
it
by the
brings
way?
me to tears. Just I think it was you
I
put part of it on
I don't
Instagram.
even think I read
Yeah.
it. No, I didn't put it on.
Some-
You
Instagram.
never
not all of
posted
it.
that.
It was like
No.
just a
No,
Oh
I
my
need.
gosh.
I
Just
needed to
similar
like.
thought. But
I
that's
needed to verbally vomit to someone else
Yeah.
who knows that this lifestyle is not fucking Instagram.
I
Really
appreciate you
nice,
choosing
yeah.
me.
yeah,
That was cool.
That was
But-
sweet.
Yeah,
It was just. Well, it was intentional, but
Yeah.
at the same time, it was like honest. You know, like I knew you guys would give me an honest
Totally.
opinion. Like you're gonna be
Yeah.
okay. You're gonna be okay there over the
Yeah.
winter.
yeah.
Like the shit's not gonna freeze, you know, or it's gonna freeze and you'll fucking figure
You're
it
gonna
out.
suck
you
in
know?
life.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like
You'll get
seriously.
You knew you would have got
Yeah.
honest
You-
feedback, whatever it
You
was.
weren't going to Instagram bullshit me.
Yeah,
that's
right.
that's what I knew. I
Yeah.
knew that for
Yeah.
sure. And I
I don't have time for it.
think I read it to Jesse, but he was so knee deep in his own
Oh,
bullshit.
yeah.
I
Oh,
don't
yeah,
even know
figuring
if
that
he
out.
oh fuck yeah.
Oh.
It's a
And-
lot.
and working full time.
And
Oh,
working.
Like it wasn't
yeah.
just
That's
yeah.
right.
You were
So I
That's
couldn't
right.
just do that all day. Like I had to. Not like I'm not trying to toot my own home, but I had to work.
Go ahead, toot it.
And then as soon
Toot it.
as I was done or had a break in my work, because it's not constant, I don't just I don't
Sure.
just work from 7 a.m. to
Yeah,
3
sure.
p.m.
Right.
I work when I have to work, and so only being able to concentrate and work on the bus when I was able to was really difficult
Yeah.
because trying to wrap my head around it and how everything goes together and one thing affects another when it's not just one problem
That's true.
was it was a realistic nightmare.
Mm-hmm.
It was
And so
it
here,
was terrible.
here he is trying to work on the bus and do work and try and keep up with like our marital issues, even though we weren't married. And then
No, you were
and then-
common law,
Yeah,
for
just
sure.
being a family and
Being a family.
also being
yeah.
at my dad's house, so trying to spend
Exactly.
time with
yeah,
him.
so I'm
Sure.
trying to dump my emotional baggage on him as well, and he's like, I don't fucking have time to hear that
Yeah,
right now.
sure.
And I was like, certainly someone does.
Yeah,
I'm
for
just gonna
sure.
fucking send
I
it.
need
like,
to do. I need
like
to
I
get
just
this off.
needed to get it the fuck off my chest.
Absolutely.
That's it.
And you were actually about to say something earlier. We were talking about. I was talking about how running off to Alaska was probably the best thing for our marriage, and you said that in North Dakota you felt something similar.
North Idaho.
North
yeah.
Idaho, North Dakota. Ah, Fargo.
Yeah, hey.
Same, really.
Yeah.
But
Besides the don't you know?
Don't you know? They don't have a don't
A
you
boot?
knows up there, huh?
Nah.
A boot in Idaho. I don't know
No,
what
up
that
there it's
accent
up
was.
there it's pretty much the same as Arizona. Like it
Oh,
seems to
okay.
be this strip where it's
Standard
like standard I don't know,
context.
standard
it is.
American context accent. I don't want to call anybody else not an American. Just
Not Yankee.
you sound
or
the same as
Southern.
I do. I guess
Right.
is that the
Sure.
correct? Yeah.
You sound like me.
Let me tiptoe around that.
I don't even know how to describe that feeling. Like, it was cold. We were fucked. And so, what do you do?
Yeah.
What do you do? What
Yeah.
do you do?
Like-
You buckle down. You buckle down. You spend time together as a family. You take, once the sun goes down, there is nothing left for you to fucking do.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
Besides
So-
research,
Yeah.
endless fucking
Online,
research.
I'm
Learn,
sure.
learn,
Right,
learn.
but even at some point, that becomes
exhausting.
and you read the same shit over
Oh, I
and over
bet.
and over again. Vlogs, blogs, bullshit. You're just like
Manuals.
fucking. Don't send me another fucking link because I've already read that shit.
Oh my
like,
God,
just,
yeah.
just.
Yeah.
So at some point, you're just like, what do you do now? Well, we spend time together.
Yeah.
We cook a meal. We, spend time with our kid. We fucking make love, and
Yep.
then we go to bed.
And you're okay with, and you have to be
Yeah.
okay with that. And it
Absolutely.
takes some people
And-
to be very comfortable with themselves to be like, that's all I did today. That's all I could do today. And have another person appreciate and understand that.
Interestingly,
And
I
support you in
feel
it.
actually that it's quite different
Really?
when you're traveling because you have this and this and that and the other and this and that and
Yeah.
the other, and then you fucking pass out and you're tired and
Exhausted.
you miss the connection,
Sure.
you miss the time together.
I
You guys
agree,
are
yeah.
Yeah, it is a
mostly
lot more than
stationary,
you think
Yeah.
it's going to be.
Yeah, that is true. And you're
it's-
moving. There's
and
more
you're
chances
moving.
of parts breaking, and I do feel like that because I feel like when
Where
we
the
move,
fuck
it's
do you
super
park?
stressful until
Oh, it is.
we get somewhere to park.
Well, it is until you get into the groove of it too.
Yeah.
Like we try to park or be close to where we're going to park like every day by
Yeah.
2 or 3 o'clock, like no later.
Yeah.
Anything after that, it starts to get stressful because
I
you
agree.
have dinner, you have dogs, you have,
Yes.
so it gets better as you go and you get more used to it, but it's way more than you ever think it's going to
Oh, it's so
be.
stressful when you're in travel mode. Like the very first year that we actually did, we were on the go. We were moving, we were traveling through
We
places, and
traveled for about a month at one point, and I remember just being like, I am so, and the kids.
It's
they
just
were
draining.
like,
It's
I am ready to
exhausting.
stop. And the main thing was because we did this to be together as a family, they had to first approve the bus idea. They had to approve us doing this at all. And
Yeah.
then when they say that they're done or they're stopped, we're done.
Yeah.
We're not doing it anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They
I'm not
wanted to
gonna
do
make-
dance and they
That's
wanted to do
actually
summer
awesome.
camps,
Layla
and so we're
talked
like,
about it
cool,
for a
then we'll do
year.
that.
So we were like, we got to find somewhere we could stay. Layla's been talking about ballet. We were like, go watch YouTube for a year. So she's been watching YouTube and just to see
Yeah.
if she was serious about it because
Yeah.
she's 10, you know.
Yeah.
But she did, and she got good. You know, in the first class she went to, her teacher's like, you have really strong like feet and your toes. And I'm like, well, they go barefoot, but also she had been
She was doing
practicing
that.
ballet. And it proved to us that she did want to do it. So we're like, yeah, then we have to respect that.
Absolutely.
And we have to put her in these classes.
Yeah.
And so we found the summer camps, you know, they're like, they want to be somewhere where they can be around kids. And I think that with smaller kids, you can give, and I think with kids in general, you give them whatever reality that you want
Yep.
to give them, you know,
Yeah.
and they're going to adapt to it because they're fucking kids, you know. And I
Yeah.
think that's the best thing
They're
about
the
Skoolie
most
and
adaptable
traveling
people
kids.
on this planet.
Yeah.
Yes, that they're always changing. They're always the new kid. They're always being put in a comfort zone, out of their comfort zone.
Yeah.
And so many kids don't get that
Mhm.
because
Yeah.
they don't travel, because they're always going to the same place all
Yep.
the time, every day. When they get around people they don't know, they freeze. And my kids, they're like, oh, cool, we'll just fit in and get in, get in and fit in.
Yeah.
Hi, my name's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
Let me be
whoever.
a human
Yeah.
being, you know, and
Yeah.
introduce
Yeah,
myself.
can totally
Absolutely.
communicate
It's
without
fun
having to
watching
be on
some
the phone.
kids when they're not around their public school kids. Like they just kind of lose it. They don't know how to operate outside
Yeah,
of their
Really,
comfort
really
zone.
shy.
They
Yeah.
just kind of close up, you know?
So that was kind of the main thing for us was when they, after we were on the road, we're just going, they were like, I am ready to like, can we like park somewhere? Like, I'm ready. And I'm like, yeah, you know, and so I get why
Yeah.
you wait till you're older, you know, maybe like to travel without your kids, but at the same time, we wanted to travel with them.
Them to experience
To
these
them,
things.
and
Get to
us-
see these
And
places.
us
Yeah.
guide them, be their spirit guides through that journey,
Yeah.
I guess, and be like, they freaking saw some dude passed out at
Oh
this
my
gas
God.
Yeah.
station, pants
Hello.
down, shit on his ass in Olympia, Washington, and they're like, what the hell? And I'm like, well, guys, that is a bad decision.
Well,
Like,
that's the result of drugs, loved
Yes.
ones.
that was a blowout
Yeah.
ass. Like, I
Yeah.
don't know what. And there was a dude next to him, so I'm like, were they
Yeah.
fucking? Was this like they took some bad cocaine and they
No.
shit themselves to death? Like,
No,
I
but
don't-
that is true life.
it was true life.
It's not
I know
rated
parents-
R,
Alcoholism,
PG-13.
that'll
That
make
is
you have
actually
diarrhea, too.
fucking life.
Yes.
Seriously.
You can only guard them and try and protect them for
For
so
so
long.
That's it, man.
And
Yeah.
depending on how you do that, the world is either going to be slightly
You're good.
expected or it's going to
I'm-
crash them upside the
Right.
head.
Yeah.
And I felt some of it. I felt like I was kind of crashed upside the head. Felt very sheltered. So I was like, for me, I was like, I need to get them out. We got to get them doing stuff.
So I lived in like 15 places by the time I was 15.
Wow.
Like in different states and what have you.
Yeah, tell like
I was down. Like I would leave one city like sad that I wasn't gonna see my friends anymore. And
Right.
then like 20 minutes later I was like, new friends.
Yeah.
yeah,
it was like this whole thing.
It's all in
So
how
it's
you
all
looked
how
at
you
it.
Look at
yeah, but
it.
they
Yeah.
used she's not really getting into it. They used to leave like in the middle of the night.
Oh, you're one of those. We've met work campers like
It's like
that. They'll
gypsies?
just get up and leave.
Like was your family gypsies?
No, not really. They were. My stepdad was a construction worker, and
So he was
if shit got.
Following the road.
He would try, and at some point, trying doesn't equate to dinner on the table.
Yeah.
We picked food out of
Yeah.
garbage cans. Like we did this whole thing, and
Yeah.
actually, all of the shitty memories that should be were my favorite memories.
That's
Nice.
awesome.
That's good.
You have a really good outlook on everything. So to me, it seems like you've gone through a lot of stuff because everything that you said, like even though with all the bullshit, you have now, maybe you had time to reflect on it, you know, but you still, even in the moment, were like, man, there's so much beauty here. Like there's still so much good. Like there's still so much to look at. And if you don't have that attitude, you're not going to survive this life.
Yeah.
You know,
You have a really good
cannot
attitude.
wallow in your misery. And so I
Oh,
appreciate
yeah.
that about you guys. You know, just having.
I
a good
have to
attitude
like
about it.
brush it off onto him. I have to
Shake
brush
it
That's
off.
what
off.
they're there for, though.
I have
Shake it
to
off.
give him
kinda
some
do
of
that.
my glitter
Yeah.
because he's the
Fucking hate
realist. He's the
Except
realist.
for-
And
Dude,
he-
once you get
Not
it in your
even
house,
like-
it never leaves your house.
They
He's
never
like-
You
No.
find it.
No, that's that's like a whole thing of showing possession. If I sprinkle glitter on him, he is taken. It's good. We're good.
Oh,
I have a ring now. You don't need to
that's your thing,
sprinkle
huh?
glitter.
You'll like poof him with some glitter, and that's like mine.
Completely-
That was you calling dibs on him.
We went to the Ren Fair. Did
She's
you
not
guys go to
kidding,
the
is
Ren
she?
Fair?
Yeah, I've seen
I'm
it.
not
I haven't
kidding.
gone.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
There's a fucking glitter lady.
Oh my
She's
God.
like a yeah. Lily's
It's like it's
"Oh,
holy
huh."
water, but glitter.
Yeah, yeah, like
Yes,
she thinks
sir.
it's funny and like she'll do it a little bit, you know, but she'll do it more for
It's like,
tips.
throw it in your fucking
Lily's
face.
like, here's a fucking 20. And she's like, boom, and just dumps this whole
Mine.
like a vial, you know, like a
Mine.
Oh
like
my
a tall
God.
vial,
Totally mine.
Yeah.
Oh
just
my God.
full of fucking glitter.
Who's gonna
All
hit on the
over
guy
me.
that has glitter?
5 minutes after we got there,
Oh my God.
Who's gonna hit on the guy covered in glitter?
Exactly.
I didn't
No
want
one.
anybody to fucking
No
hit on me.
one.
I just didn't
But
want any
she's
glitter.
covered the base.
Now you got glitter all over. Yeah.
People
Yeah.
ask me when he grew his hair out right after he got out of the army. He went like
Oh
long
Jesus.
hair.
I was a
Yeah.
long-haired bald
He was
dude.
starting to
Nice.
thin a little, and so he kind of looked like Mrs. Doubtfire, like an old British grandmother.
Yeah.
That's what he looked like. And everybody's like, Morgan, why did you? I'm like, well, first off, it was like, first off, he's been told what to do, like since he's left his house. So I'm gonna let him do whatever the fuck he wants to do. If he wants to rock it,
Seriously.
then
Yeah.
rock it. But two, I don't know how many people were gonna want to fuck him with this. He would rock this like brown leather
Total
headband.
woman's headband.
And he had
Total.
just gained all this weight from working offshore.
Relationship security.
And it was like I was like,
Yeah,
I'm good.
absolutely.
Have you seen that movie? I Love You Man, or the one with Paul Rudd when she's like, who's gonna fuck him? He's got a Jerry Fro or
A Jufro.
A
A
Jufro.
Jufro.
I
And a
love
small
it.
dick. They're like, I'm
Shit,
good. I
what
don't care if he
was
goes to
that movie?
Vegas.
Like every single one of
Wanderlust?
his.
No, it's the with Paul Rudd,
Oh,
Elizabeth Mann.
Oh, This Is 40.
Funny
It
dude.
was This Is 40.
This is.
Because he threw up all. It was that. It was him. He threw
This
up
Is
all over
40.
him.
Yes.
Yeah.
Was
And
it
Yeah.
This Is 40? Or
Yeah,
was
I
it the
think so.
one before Knocked Up?
No,
No,
not
This Is
knocked up.
So it was.
It was
This is.
This Is 40.
Yeah, we should
yeah.
watch that. I haven't watched that in a while.
Yeah, we should.
That was a good
That's
movie.
good.
I love that movie.
She was like, I'm down. Let's do it.
So I could talk all
Sorry,
night
guys.
with you
We're
guys.
done.
Oh, I know.
What are we
We're
gonna
gonna
go
be talking for 2 hours and 30 minutes.
Holy hell.
Wow.
Isn't that- it's
Yeah.
crazy how fast.
Do you
the
trim
time
it?
flies. No.
No,
we
No?
we're just.
we
it's-
go.
Oh,
Yeah.
shit.
Slides.
Sorry.
All we're gonna do is add an intro,
Well,
and
people will download it and they listen to it to and from work.
people
you know?
like longer ones. I've been
Yeah.
told, because when they're just traveling or whatever, they can throw something on,
just talk.
and it just
Okay.
entertains
So-
their time.
That's how I was when I used to drive truck. I would
Yeah.
listen to all kinds of stuff. Usually,
Yeah.
like I'd listen to the Howard Stern show and a
Yeah.
couple other
Yep.
shows like
I've
that.
had people
I
complain
used to
when these
scrub
weren't long
toilets
enough.
for a living, and
Oh, wow.
look, don't feel sorry for me. I loved it. I'm a good
It was her
toilet scrubber.
business. Yeah.
Hey, that's okay. That works. We all have our thing.
The Howard Stern interviews.
Oh yeah.
He's an amazing
Yeah.
interviewer.
I heard a couple. I haven't gotten to listen to all
Oh,
of them.
they're so good.
But what I was gonna say is that our neighbors, Hugo the bus, they want to meet you guys.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, and so I definitely want to do it before it got too late.
Sure.
And is there anything? I mean, I wanted first off you guys to do your social medias and everything, but is there anything that you guys wanted to talk, like say or talk about before we got off, or anything you wanted to cover?
Do you?
Do you?
No, I have. Thank you for having
You're
us
welcome.
Yeah.
Thank you for
Thank you.
coming.
I'm
in
glad it
your
worked
bus,
out. Yeah.
and thanks for putting up with our shit schedule.
So no, you guys are
Happens.
newlyweds. We're busy too, so but it works out. Like I'm glad this worked out.
Yeah, we've only been, wanting to hang out for a
Forever.
Only
year
been
and a half, 2
dating
years,
for
yeah.
like a week or so.
That's the coolest thing about this whole bus life is, like Chris Deere, how we met him. He just drove and came and saw him when we were working at the
work
lot,
company.
and
that
we
guy,
just meet so many random people that
Chris
it's
here
cool.
did so much to try and help us. Like he tried to get a hold of all sorts of mechanics. He started that whole
I think it
group
was very
page,
personal.
like,
Very
and we had
helpful.
tried to actually meet up with him when we were in Oregon, but
Oh, didn't work out.
because timing, we were just trying to blow through. We had to
Yeah.
get to Seattle in a day.
Yeah, we only have
So-
like 4 days.
Him and I
That's
had
true.
already like talked about a few things, like just fuck, man, you cannot replace
No, not the people.
bus people.
No.
You can't do it.
That sums
They
it
are
up.
so
yeah, that's great.
so incredibly wholehearted.
I like the rebelness and the freedom of bus people. I
Everybody
like that.
has a little fuck you in them.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of fuck you, a little bit I'll help you.
Yeah.
I like it.
Because
you
I
know?
think we all do have our own reasons for going.
Yeah.
on
Absolutely.
bus
Sure.
life.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Different struggles usually, like a different. I want to change or.
Yeah.
When we were broke down in Idaho, we had more messages from people than it was.
You didn't even know people were watching you.
The
Yeah,
struggle
well,
is
and they were
real.
even like hard to go through to like, you know,
Wow.
try
Actually,
and,
our next stop from Arizona is into Las Vegas to go personally, wholeheartedly thank someone who sent us the diagnostic tool for us to
Oh
figure
my
out what
yeah,
the
like
fuck was wrong with
overnighted
it.
their diagnostic tool
Oh
to
my
us so that we
God.
could,
Yeah.
That's cool.
Gareth Long,
Like-
he's amazing.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so you can say thank you with a card. You can say thank you this way, that way, or the other.
Absolutely.
But
Handwritten.
fucking
thank yous.
driving a couple hundred miles
Yeah.
to give you a
Yeah.
hug and say thank you. No, really, you saved our bacon.
Yeah,
It
absolutely.
was
That's cool.
best way to go.
Yeah, without that, it would have been really hard to figure out everything to get it all
Sure.
back to where it
Sure.
needed to be,
Absolutely.
or to even figure it out to begin with. That was.
Those things, man, are
'Cause
awesome.
I have like full sets of basic tools, but I didn't have any of the pressure gauges or diagnostic. I could read codes and that was it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, really, the community really saved us.
Yeah, 100%.
So
That's amazing. And it's good to know that we're a part of that. Like I'm proud to be a Skoolie owner just because
Yeah.
we do come from a really badass tribe of people.
Yeah.
You know? People who eat out of the garbage too. You know, there's a lot of food in the
Absolutely.
garbage,
When
man.
shit happens, though, know
Yeah.
that people have your back.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
just do,
Absolutely.
Period.
Yep.
Great Green Bus right now needs to replace an engine.
Oh,
They're-
great green bus.
Yeah, they're in a very fucked up situation, and they're
That
trying to
sucks.
make the best of it. And
I hate to see when it doesn't work out, you know, and then people are like, hey, we had to sell the bus or whatever. And it's
Yeah,
always so
or we had to
sad.
who the
park
fuck
it
do you
or-
sell it
Yeah.
to, and for how much?
Yeah,
like 10
really.
grand?
Yeah,
like 2
I don't
grand?
even know.
Like,
And
it's-
everybody reams you a new asshole on these Skoolie forums whenever you
Oh,
ask for
I
30,000. I'm like, dude,
know.
I'd be asking for like 50 or 60 for this fucking bus.
Yeah, I
Oh,
don't
well,
think
same
people
here.
Somebody
understand.
offered us
that-
$100,000 the first year.
Fuck
Yeah.
Just because
no.
they followed us and they were like, this bus is beautiful. I'll give you 100 grand right now. And I'm like, hell
Hell
no, dude. I
no.
We
fucking
just did
built this
17 months of
work.
working our
that's
ass
your-
off, banging our head against a wall.
It's your fucking home.
Dude,
Yeah.
for
You
real.
know?
Yes. So I was
It's your
like, dude,
home.
no way.
But I
Like,
would
can't
laugh,
do it.
you know, when these people are getting on
And they're
to
posting 50
people
grand and
asking
they're
for what
nice
they should be
buses.
getting for these
They
buses, because
totally should.
if you've never built a bus, you
Then
don't
you
know how
don't
much this
know.
really
And
costs.
if you built
And
it like shit, then you
and
don't really
we
know
kept
either.
Yep.
kept the receipts. We
Yeah.
added them up.
Yeah.
I
Good.
added them up.
Yeah.
It was
I still don't want
painful.
to hear that. Can we-
la 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 la.
But like all the solar that we have, and
Oh,
people
yeah.
don't think about that.
It's
Nor,
expensive.
Even the
nor if-
knowledge to put it together.
right.
That's
And if they were
yeah,
gonna have
priceless,
somebody
bro.
build, if they were gonna have somebody build it for them, well, who the fuck are you gonna
Well,
pay to do
and-
that?
and-
Oh yeah.
You have to pay for a solar installer,
Ugh.
a DC installer, and a freaking AC installer.
Most
it's
of
a
which-
house, an RV, and a solar
they don't
person.
Keep in mind,
They
most,
don't exist.
most
They
of
don't
which will
exist.
not touch it because of
No.
liability.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah, go ahead, find somebody that'll do it for you. Good luck.
Really.
And if they will, can you trust them to actually do a good job?
Do it correctly.
Probably not,
No.
because they're not putting
They're
their
gonna fuck
license
it
on
up.
it.
Definitely 50
No.
or 60 grand worth, easily,
Yeah.
easily.
It's
If your
crazy.
if your home runs off of solar and you are in a mobile anything,
Yeah.
then you automatically deserve like a 10 grand.
Yeah. Can you
I
go to the
agree.
grocery store and park for a month?
No,
No,
I
yeah,
can.
exactly. I could go park at Walmart for a month.
N-
Oh,
No,
if I
I'm
want
saying
to
I
park
could
at
I could go to
Walmart.
the grocery store,
Yeah.
stock
No,
up, and I
right.
can go park for a month. You know,
Wherever you
really
want.
Right.
conserved water.
Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. There's definitely all these different ways you can cut this lifestyle for sure.
So we're gonna.
No, we
have to
don't.
wrap
We're
it
good
up.
for 2 weeks, but
What
We
do
have to
you-
wrap it up.
So first off, real quick, how can people get a hold of you on social media? Where are all of you
we're
guys at?
bricks of happiness everywhere. So Instagram, Facebook, and coming back to YouTube.
Very nice.
We have old YouTube videos that are like Jonah growing up and stuff. But
Jonah baby
now we want
pictures.
to document what we're doing because
Sure.
people
Very
want to
cool.
know.
Yeah, they do. They
Yeah.
do.
So that's where we're at. We're actually working on the first set of.
You're
videos
interesting people.
as of
So
yet.
yeah, I say keep doing it.
Thank you, because sometimes I don't feel interesting at all.
It's a lot of work, but
You guys are
hopefully
doing
it,
something most people will never even have the courage or even just the will or want to do. So
You know,
hopefully
that's-
it pays off to be like truthful. Though you see a lot of bullshit of like, yeah, I'm doing yoga on the top of my bus.
Yeah,
that
you're
kind
not
of
really
bullshit.
doing that.
But here's the thing: it's dishes, it's floors, it's figuring out parking, it's
Water breaking.
it's freaking arguing in a tight space.
Yeah.
Like it's all
Yeah.
of this
Yeah.
shit.
Well,
It's
and
all of it.
And a lot of what
So-
you see is couples or singles that are doing it, not
with kids.
families,
That's true.
Yeah.
And part of what I wanted to say about what
Seriously.
you guys are doing with podcast is it's great because you can reach way more people than even YouTube can simply because of internet connections.
Yeah, that's
You know,
true.
like a
'cause
lot of
people
the-
can download it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a
Yep.
lot of the world can't watch YouTube in
And
any
you
kind
can
of quality.
listen to it while
That's
you're
true.
driving.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is another good
Which-
thing. And that's how I felt too. It's kind of
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
But you guys, I would love to do another phone interview in the future to see where you guys are at too.
Sure.
Like, I think that would be really cool. And
Yeah.
I totally appreciate y'all coming over, and I'm glad this all worked out.
Yeah, thank you guys.
It was
I'm-
easy.
Really excited to try your fucking ceviche. And
Well, I've been just
white girl-
so
He's like-
stoked for this.
he's like
White girl
starting to jump
ceviche.
up. White, yeah, that's what
Oh,
you
my
call it.
back's
White girl
killing me.
ceviche.
Oh
Oh,
my
you're
God.
good.
I had like bad
ceviche.
posture this whole thing, and so now it
Yeah.
just hurts.
Well,
While we're in a bus.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But do y'all have any quotes? Any advice you want to give anybody right before we get off? And we'll end it there.
Oh, we suck at that.
Oh yeah, I'm not supposed to put y'all on the spot, right? Well, how about as far as like getting through something like what you guys got through as
Oh.
bus people?
Just hang in there. If it's really something that you really want and really love, then
Don't
You'll
just
do
hang
it.
in there. Fucking work for it.
That's right.
Mm.
Get your britches on. Get your ass under the bus. Figure it out. YouTube it. Google it. Call on it.
message us.
Work for it.
And
That's-
Yeah, if you really
that's
want
it.
it, you can make it happen, no matter what it is, whether it's a
Absolutely.
bus
It's
or
a fact.
Yeah.
a business or
Get after it.
Yeah.
it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Just keep hustling.
Yeah.
You only fell when you quit. So
That's
yeah,
right.
I think a lot of people don't really get that.
yeah,
When you quit, that's when
Yeah.
you lost.
Yeah.
You just keep pushing, keep pushing, keep pushing,
Yeah.
keep pushing. You're gonna get there.
Yeah.
So yeah,
And also
Make your
this-
own dreams.
This
Like,
community.
don't give up your daydream.
I like that.
This community is also incredible.
I'm gonna give Lily a badass bitch extraordinaire sticker.
do it.
You totally need a babe sticker because
You're a babe.
you're a babe.
You're a babe.
I
Yeah.
completely
You're
agree.
Not many.
See?
Not many women are willing to get their hands dirty and get in there with their partner and like even hold a
Do
fucking
what it
wrench
takes.
or
Yeah.
support them. You know what I mean? It just can be like that
No.
negative Nancy on their back.
Helping me
so
hold an oil pan, getting
I'm saying,
covered.
like,
yeah.
it's a different kind of woman to live this life. I
Takes
don't
a
know
babe
how
to
many
do it.
people have told me that. So kudos to you guys for making it
My
this far.
honor. My honor. Seriously. That sounds so old school, but
No, that's
definitely.
sweet. And congratulations again on the wedding. I think that's awesome. Even though y'all been together forever. But yeah, now you have a piece of paper. You own her. She owns you.
Yeah,
it's
like,
official.
it took us a few
Half
days to file it. We-
everything he owns is mine.
Yeah.
Which kind of sucks because I own the bus. That's all that happens.
But you got documentation. Says it right there.
It's
You
half.
own this woman right there. So
If
yeah.
you lived in Texas, you could beat her with something.
they
the size of
still
your
have the
thumb
rule of wrist.
on the courthouse steps on Sunday.
No.
Yeah.
The rule of thumb, you
The
mean?
rule of thumb.
Rule of thumb. That's what it
It
is.
should be the rule of wrist.
Should be the
Told me,
rule.
he
See
was
how
like,
you
better
know
act
the
right.
movie.
I'm
Yes,
gonna take you to
man.
the courthouse
Yes.
on Sunday. I'm gonna beat your ass. God. I am not.
I
the
didn't
only
do that.
one.
I didn't
Are you
do
okay?
that.
I do that all
I'm
the
good. I'm
time.
good.
And he's like, God damn, your head's gonna be fucked up. I'm like, I don't know, it hurts. Bus life.
Dude, that was. I heard that like
It
through
was-
the.
Yeah.
It wasn't that bad.
The dog thought you knocked.
It wasn't that bad.
Me was pissed. Well, thanks, guys, again. Y'all have a great night. And hope
Thanks for
everybody
having
watching
us.
on
Yeah,
YouTube.
thanks, guy. Whoever
Thank
was
you for
watching.
hanging out.
appreciate it.
Yeah, whoever hung out the whole
Thanks,
time. Yeah, you
guys.
should get a
Wait,
prize.
thanks, Chris
You should get a
dear.
prize.
We really appreciate your support and your care. Like,
Congrats on your
Yes.
new kid,
On
buddy.
your baby.
Yeah, dude.
Congrats.
Yes, congrats.
yeah.
3 bus
Hit the road.
kids.
And we love you all.
We'll see you soon.
Bye, guys.